Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the four Danettes are not here. No! So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hump day. Let's do it.
Gonna turn your hump day. No, we're not gonna do it. Gonna turn your hump day into a hump night. It's what we do.
up?
I'm not even sure what that means, but it sounds fun, right? Let's do the Humpty Dance into our Wednesday and welcome you to Fox Sports Radio Nation, the Danettes. It's Covino and Rich in for DP, day 3 of the Dan Patrick Hattrick, which means a few things. We're gonna have some fun. And you don't have to deal with us after today, okay? Unless you want to, because we're on from 5 to 7 on the East, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West, nationwide, like the warehouse, on Fox Sports Radio, Covino and Rich. Everything at Covino and Rich, and we're streaming live at Covino and Rich FSR.
Hopefully everyone's having a good week. Maybe you're having like a PCA type of week. Maybe you're having a walk-off Cubbies type of week.
He's so hot right now. He's like Hansel, and we're going to talk about him. And we're joined by a legend today. Yeah. Yesterday, few legends, Frank Caliendo and, I don't know, Drew Brees, Hall of Famer. Today, hip-hop legend, superstar, Ice Cube. Say it, Rich.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, not Ice-T.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube will be here on the show.
I do have to address with him.
You have to.
How
get it off your
calling
chest.
him Ice-T instead of Ice Cube early in my radio career was one of my biggest flubs.
It was just the flub. I'll defend you here. We grew up watching Ice Cube, listening to Ice Cube, knowing Ice Cube. I know, Rich, there's no way anyone under the moon in our age range, or anyone that worked in music for that matter too, didn't know who Ice Cube was. But Rich called him Ice-T, and it set the tone for like a really awkward moment.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah. I thought he was going to get up and slap Rich.
Well, today I'm wearing my Ice Cube Ice-T shirt where it's
that'll help you with your confusion.
Oh my God, why did I do that?
And you look like Vanilla Ice.
Oh my goodness.
This is confusing.
So Ice Cube on the show. See, I got it right. And we'll hear from Patrick Renna and Danielle Fishel, Topanga. They're in a new show called Dugout Dads, which is going to be awesome. It looks fantastic.
It's a show about you.
If you're living that world of coaching and parenting, we'll catch up with them. And you'll hear that entire interview on our bonus pod tomorrow, but we'll hear from them. So it's going to be an action-packed show. First hour, we got to talk fights, and then there's a company that went out of business, finally. And I think the biggest question is there one person on planet Earth that thought they were still operating? And that company is Columbia House.
I feel like your mom was still a member, Rich.
My mom paid for her AOL, I think, until like 5 years ago.
And that's exactly why I believe she still buys her CDs from Columbia House.
Well, you know what? Everyone else is talking about fights. I'm cool talking about Columbia House.
I wanted to talk about fights and fighting. We'll get to fighting and friction.
Fighting.
We'll get to fighting. And by the way, there is a big fight this weekend, and I'll tell you all about that. We'll get to fights and football. But Columbia House, just to switch it up and have some fun. I think we all remember the days of Columbia House. Sam, you're a little bit younger. We got Sammy here on the ones and twos.
I remember.
Okay, you do. You know what? You do have the soul of an 80-year-old white guy. So yeah, Sam is much older.
His name should be like Bert or something.
Well, Sam
His name
could
is
be an
Sam.
old guy name. Yeah,
Sam's
Sam.
like a young kid name now.
Yeah.
It's made the cycle.
He's like your Uncle Sam.
Sam the Butcher.
Yeah, and Danny G, our super producer, is here if you want to call in and chime in. Chop it up at 877-99 on Fox. And again, we are streaming live, like I said, and people are chatting early in the morning. It's early here on the West Coast. Shout out to the East Coast and everybody in between at Covino and Rich FSR. I was a big Columbia House kid because think about the radio come up. It's not the same for all people, but I know Danny G and I especially. Rich is just a ham who wanted to entertain and be on the mic. It was our love of music that brought us down this path, right, for the most part,
yeah,
right?
We were reading song lyrics from actual CD, inserts.
I was spending my hard-earned Bennigan's money waiting tables, serving Turkey O'Toole's and samplers, waiting tables, and then immediately going to Sam Goody or The Wiz or even when I was younger, Crazy Eddie, because his prices were insane. And you would buy CDs. But then you realized there was something called Columbia House. And, dude, I was all about it because, like I said, I grew up loving music. Just as much as I loved sports and collecting baseball cards, I loved getting CDs, opening up the jewel cases, reading if they had lyrics and really diving into those albums. It was the same for me.
I still remember the gimmick. 12 CDs for a penny.
Everybody remembers.
But here's the question.
I mean, you should.
Who ever paid? Nowadays, your kid gets an app on their iPad, or you accidentally say, let me get this editing app, or this cool little game or something on my phone. And what happens is, even after the free trial, you forget because your credit card is linked to your Apple Pay and your iTunes and everything. So they always got you on the hook now because you can't do jack diddly squat without giving some type of information, whether it's a streaming app or anything. So you're on the hook for everything. In fact, you get schemed because sometimes even if you want to cancel something, they have your info for payment. Back then, it was in good faith that some weak-ass teenagers were going to pay you.
It came in that fat blue envelope.
I don't know
remember?
one person. Let me just describe the scene, and let's see if we're all on the same page. Let's take it back. The year was 1990-something. I don't know.
You know what's wild, Rich? It does deserve explanation because there are people that don't remember because they're too young, maybe.
Or too old? I don't know.
I don't know. Too old, perhaps.
In fact, there's a big window of people
but then
that
there's
remember
people, too,
Columbia House.
that just forget everything about their past and they need a reminder. People that are like, yo, dude, do you remember? It's like, of course I remember. Did you get dropped on your head? How did you forget?
I don't think too old is a possibility because those people back then were the ones yelling at us like my mom, you better pay that. It keeps coming in the mail.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rich. Anyone too old is probably gone by now because Columbia House is shutting down after 71 years. Right? So it's been around a long-ass time.
But how is it still operating?
I don't know. I was shocked. I was more shocked that it was closing down.
Have they heard of something called, I don't know, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, Sirius XM?
They did transition their business.
I know, but to
it was one guy working in one office.
But Danny G, I just gave you the options. You're streaming on Spotify. You love Sirius XM. You got the iHeart app. You have Apple Music. They're purchasing music in any other capacity. What was even their business model? What was the business model for Columbia House? I didn't look it up because I don't want to know. What could it possibly be?
No clue. I didn't know it existed until I saw this story.
All right,
shutting its doors after 71 years.
Here were the rules back in the day. The penny deal. 12 cassettes or compact discs, CDs, everyone, for 1 penny, plus a very high shipping and handling cost. The commitment. You agreed with no binding contract other than you could have been living in your college frat house and been like, yeah, my name's Seymour Butts. People, I remember.
Don't you miss those days of being like an anonymous consumer?
I had buddies that would make up 10 different fake names and just they would do this 10 times.
That was the scammeroo.
And get 120 CDs.
All right, so you asked the question though, and I have a confession, I guess.
Okay, well,
consider me the usher of the show.
These are his confessions. Did you get that one for a penny? So you agreed to a specific number of items, usually 6 to 8 CDs or cassettes for a regular price of $14 to $18, and you had to buy 6 to 8 within a year. But with that, you got the 12 free. Each month, Columbia House mailed you a selection of the month card, like a little pamphlet, but no one ever paid. You'd get the 12 for a penny, and then you'd be like, now my name is Seymour Johnson, and you'd get 12 more for a penny. And
Seymour Johnson.
Well, that was your name in the 90s. Huh? But I just wonder who paid.
Well, somebody paid because their business was worth millions and millions of dollars.
Well, when you say to pay or not to pay, I think of you. To pay for sure.
To pay.
To pay. Rich Davis, to pay.
Oh,
thank
man,
you.
He's here. Actually, he's not. He's here just today, guys. Hattrick's over.
I'm trying to distract you from the confession because I know the joke is, and nobody paid. Nobody paid. If Rich was doing a stand-up act, everyone would be like, yeah, and no one paid.
Am I right?
But the truth is, I paid.
Oh my God!
The truth is, I was fooled on the scam. Really,
I think
meaning, you did pay a penny. That was it. You paid a penny, but then you were responsible. You got 12 CDs. I think you left out one nugget of the deal. You got your 12 CDs for a penny. and you got your CNC Music Factory.
Dude, the
your Black
selection
Sheep.
was so bad for hip hop and R&B.
I feel like I got some,
They're
hip hop.
like surface level.
They
It was
had
like
Tupac
Bobby Brown. No Tupac. It was like Bobby Brown.
That Tone Loc?
Tone Loc, like stuff like that.
I
Yeah,
definitely
the
got
very,
my Bobby
very, very
Brown.
mainstream.
Havanaroni, greatest hits. I got a lot of CDs from this. So I used it, but I used it the proper way. So you would get your 12 and you'd be so pumped about it. You put it in your little case alphabetically, and then you were responsible for like 6 to 8 at regular price. So I would buy those 6, and you had there was no time limit that I remember or that I remember stressing me out. But I remember, wow, now I got to buy 6 for
Like
14 to 18 bucks, like you said, because the shipping was so high. And, I did it because I feel like I felt like a guilt of I had to.
But Covino's the guy that if
But I did pay.
Covino is the guy that if you buy him,
And my mom probably was like, it's going to affect your credit, you idiot, or something like that.
He's oddly responsible, and it's not a bad thing. But Covino's the type of guy that
I did pay.
I don't want to owe anyone nothing. Like this morning, he probably already Venmo'd me.
I already did.
For his coffee because I don't want to owe anyone anything.
I don't
When
like that.
You felt like a weird guilt to Columbia House. So
But I did get my 12. I did buy my 6 or whatever you were obligated for after. And then I probably got, another 12 somehow. So I did finagle the system.
they probably have a picture of you at headquarters.
But
like,
I
thank this guy.
Hey, I'm here to announce that I've kept them in business for 71 years up until now.
You were the last member.
Because, it's another funny question. What do you think was the last CD you bought? Because when you bought actual CDs, remember they came in that long rectangular waste of cardboard?
Of course.
Remember they came in this
They
long
came in the long
cardboard case.
plastic cases like
Long
that,
plastic cases. What was the last CD you bought? You actually bought? I have no idea.
By the way, they transitioned their business in 1997 to DVDs. They had a DVD club.
Well,
and now
still.
look at
And
DVDs.
by 2015, they filed a Chapter 11.
Did anyone else? You speak of DVDs.
They're like, we'll switch to another kind of disc.
that will go out of business. Did you ever, back in the day, go to Best Buy or Circuit City, but mostly Best Buy? I would buy mediocre movies for $5 just because I wanted to fill up my sweet CD, sweet DVD
it was such
rack.
a brag or a flex, as the kiddos say. You had to display your Scarface DVD.
If you came
What
to
color
my,
wood was your rack? Was it the blonde wood or the dark?
I had like a
What kind of
metal
stain
one.
did you
I
have
had
on
like
your
a,
wood?
I had like a metal wavy one.
Oh, you had a metal
yeah, I
one.
had a metal
Wow.
wavy
that was
one.
gangster, bro. Mine was black and crisp and looked sweet.
You guys were modern.
You had to have the setup. What do you have, bro? Crates?
He had like the light wood one.
Danny G's like, I had a milk crate and a
Wavy
cinder
stand,
block.
though. You had to assemble yourself.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Danny probably had. Remember those brown VHS holders that you would pull like little drawers?
No,
Little
Covino's
drawers.
right. My older brother and I had milk crates filled with CDs and cassettes.
Well, albums would be.
and albums
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say,
vinyl.
But Sam, you brought up the
Standard.
the DVDs. I remember going to because Best Buy would have average. I remember buying movies like Stakeout 2 with Rosie O'Donnell for $5 because it would always be the most bunk, weak ass movies. But when you were like in your early 20s or in college, it was a cool bragging right to be like, yo, come in my apartment or dorm room or something.
doubt.
I got the
I was
sweetest
so proud.
DVD collection.
We all were. We were so proud of our setup, our collection, and
That's a lost art.
eventually they fell into a Case Logic binder. Or remember, people would have. I always hear stories of, dude, I never got my. Remember, you would have a visor thing, and you'd have your CDs in the visor in
Yeah.
the little case. Dude, man, my girlfriend, she took my CDs. I never got them back. Man, she stole my binder. So,
Yeah.
are you surprised, or as surprised as we were to hear that Columbia House was even still a thing?
Well, listen, with all the streamers right now, and like I said, Spotify, SiriusXM, iHeart, all the places you could listen to music for free or a subscription, I think the reality is there's a lot less junk space being taken up, but there was something about, like you said, a collection of CDs or DVDs. I remember going to Covino's apartment, and then Covino had a townhouse, and he had a wall, a full wall
Yeah.
of CDs, and it was
CDs and DVDs.
and you had some guitars hanging on the wall, and it was almost your way of saying, yo, I'm into music.
Yeah.
And if you went to in your movie room or your den, you had. I remember in my parents' basement.
I also had a sweet fish tank.
In my parents' basement, we had a wall, almost like a mini blockbuster of old VHS tapes and DVDs.
Honestly,
and
that tangible sort of feeling, though, is coming back. There is a pushback with the weenials, the younger generation, who want some tangible, old school.
God bless him.
Not only CDs and DVDs, but Walkman and flip phones, and they're sort of pushing back.
Yes, flip phones are coming back.
You know why, though? Because they do feel like something's not right with the way we're living and the way we communicate.
Yeah, I read an article recently that this new generation are buying all these CDs from these used music stores, but they're having a hard time finding actual CD players.
True story. And by the way, we'll take some phone calls. Your thoughts on Columbia House closing down, 877-99 on Fox. I'm Covino. I have a teenage daughter. She's 16. She already said, because I you condense things as you grow. She wanted me to keep my CD case. I've kept about maybe 500-600 CDs that meant a lot to me, and I still got them in a rack.
I remember.
And she wants them for some sort of retro room in the future, and I have a 300 disc changer too. Like I still have one.
I remember, Danny, because when Covino went through his divorce. Oh, look, it took me 16 minutes to bring up your ex-wife.
16 minutes. Let's hear about it.
I remember when Covino moved.
I'm glad you remember about it. Tell me about my divorce, Rich.
16 minutes into the show. I remember when Covino was moving out. We were good buds. I went to go help him move all his stuff out of his old
Moving
place.
out, Billy Joel. Let me file that under J for Joel.
Or you would do it under Joel instead of Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
But Danny, Covino's like, yo, can you and Spot help me carry my CDs? I'm like, carry your CDs? Like, you need help carrying CDs? When I tell you, it was like a rickety old bookshelf that. But when I tell you people can't see the window between you and I. This big, huge, monstrous glass.
I think Spot has pictures of it somewhere.
It was that size to the point where like three men had to like hold it on their back. And, it's like a moving truck, and he had not parted with those. Those are
Still got them.
You still have them in storage,
Yeah,
right?
but again, I kept the ones that meant something to me because, it paved the way. And by the way, I was thinking about Columbia House, and I got a lot of them from Columbia House. Columbia House, when you would get those 12 for the penny off the get-go, and then you would rip off the company, that's the gimmick. That was your gimmick. It was good for getting, like, greatest hits. Like, you'd get them all at once. Like, greatest hit albums that you wouldn't want to necessarily buy at the store, right, at the time. Because at the time, you wanted to go get the Boyz II Men album or whatever.
You weren't buying the Eagles' greatest hits.
Yeah, but you get the Eagles' greatest hits or Led Zeppelin's greatest, the Doors' greatest, all the classic rock greatest hits with Columbia House sort of to complete your collection. The collection is really the core of what we're getting at. I do miss those days, man. I really do.
I think a big takeaway is that Covino is such an honorable guy. He's the guy that paid for Columbia House. I get. Were you the guy that did you actually make a collect call, or did you be like, you have a collect call from Mom up at the mall, pick me up? Or you were the guy that actually said, it's Steve.
Well, here's what I'm here to say.
Covino was the guy who was paying for music when everyone else was using Napster to get it for free. And he's like, I'll still pay.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Sam, because that really was the beginning of the end for the CD, the MP3 player. And I still remember the day radio legend Will Pendarvis came in. He's like, it's called an MP3 player. I was like, what's that? He's like, this is a Nomad. This is like before the iPod.
Yeah.
And he looks like, no. I'm like, what? And that was the beginning of the end. I was still rocking my Discman.
That's a way cooler name, by the way. The Nomad. I'm walking around everywhere with my music.
Yeah, it's called the Nomad.
There's Spot just posted a picture on our in-show of me standing in front of your CD wall.
No way.
You guys didn't break that down with
Look at
like
that.
How
tools?
in the world can he find that? I'm
you didn't
surprised
deconstruct that thing and break it in like pieces?
No, dude. I still have
500
one rack.
pounds.
Like I had several racks, right?
Thanks,
I kept one to pass down, and a lot of those are autographed after working in radio for years, and they meant a lot to me. So, it's just I don't know. It's just wild looking back.
By the way, if you want to see it, it is our YouTube channel, Covino and Rich FSR.
Oh, I love it.
Spell it A-N-D in the middle.
You had the disc changer, the Discman, I'm sorry, the Mega Bass. You would drain batteries. You were keeping Duracell and company listening to CDs if you had a Discman, right? Because you would burn through them listening to one
golden age of
Metallica
batteries.
album. Yeah. So you had your Discman, then the MP3 player, but I really believe Napster, LimeWire, Aries, wherever you were downloading your music illegally, it was the illegal mentality you developed from Columbia House to say, I'm ripping them off. I might as well rip off all these other companies too.
Phones are hot. Every line is lit up, so let's go talk some old school. And by the way, do you miss that tangible thing that it seems like Covino's saying young kids now are sort of craving a little bit? Like, I do want to hold
we talked about this before. It's the same with video games. I don't like the fact that I don't have the cartridge of the video game in my hand.
Download it, yeah.
Yeah.
You bought an album, and you had the lyrics, you had like, the liners and all that stuff. You'd look through it while you were listening.
There is something there, like, I mean, I don't want to get so off tangent, but like even something as simple as you're in your car and you could listen to everything from Spotify to SiriusXM to have the iHeart app to any type of music, iTunes, everything right there in your console. You used to pull your stereo in and out. You would have the CD changer in your trunk. Like, there used to be so much more stuff, and I sort of like no stuff.
Also, there was a surprise because the songs didn't all leak all over the internet back then. People didn't have advanced copies. Only radio people had advanced copies. And I remember as a kid standing in line at a Warehouse Music, a big line of people, the day Snoop Dogg's first solo album came out. And it was so exciting to peel off the plastic from it and put it in your CD player and hear these songs really, truly for the first time.
Yeah, and you were taking a chance a lot of times.
Besides the radio single that was out, the album cuts were being heard for the first time.
I agree with you, Danny. There is something we're missing. Like, it's that feeling of, like, you could sit on your couch and you could go through Apple TV, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, every HBO Max, but, like, there was still something that you sort of miss about, like, walking around Blockbuster, right? It was you'd be like, but you had to get up, get in your car, go there, come back, but there was something.
Are you kidding me? The lost art.
About
you can make playlists. I got a ton of them. But the lost art of going to the CD store,
making a playlist,
giving it to friends or girls or women you cared about, right? That was part of the routine. And like Rich said, it's why kids are yearning for a little more, and that's why they want cameras again, and even disposable cameras.
That's
and
wild,
they
right?
want tangible because they feel like they've missed out on it, and they have. And, yeah, it's a weird story where Columbia House is done after 71 years today. Who knew it was even still around?
Hilarious. Look, on the local news, end of an era. They're actually doing this on the local news, Columbia House, because everyone remembers. All right, let's go to all your feedback. Danny, who do you want to start with?
Let's, speaking of Snoop Dogg, let's start in the LBC. Jeff,
Columbia House. Rest in peace. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. I'm a majority stockholder in Columbia House. Do you think it's time to sell? Because it was either
Sell, baby.
Sell for a penny.
Columbia House or Amazon, and I think I made the right choice. All right, it's checkers, son, not chess. I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Was your Scarface DVD next to the totally awesome Spicoli poster? And can I just tell you my most embarrassing Columbia House CD that I got in the mail, and I don't want you to make fun of me. I'm very sensitive.
What is it?
I got Natalie Merchant's Tiger Lily sent to my dorm in college.
Hey, dude, for a penny? Who cares?
No, but can you imagine him being like, "What? Hey, bro, what do you got? Nothing.
Oh my God! No, I left it out for the girls, thinking they'd all want to make out with me because I was sensitive, and that's why my milk crate was filled with VHS cassettes that you get in the back of the video where you go through the beaded section.
So like you thought you were going into a saloon, right?
That's so funny.
Great call, Jeff.
Let's take one more for now, Danny. I know everyone. We'll get to everyone, but let's take one more.
I do love that thought of the beaded section of the video store or the saloon doors. You go in there, you're like, whoa.
Remember going to the video store and you would see like someone's dad or a teacher or someone come what are they doing
so
back
weird.
there?
I went in and I saw your dad.
Hey, likely.
Right.
All right,
quickly here. We got 30 seconds for you. Eddie in Indiana.
What's up, Eddie?
Hey, how are you, man?
Is this crazy, Eddie?
What's up, man?
Hey, it is crazy, Eddie. Hey, listen, I know I'm a few years older than both you guys. I'm in my early 50s, but hey, so the Columbia House thing, what I remember as a kid, you had a place on the little like postcard type thing you mailed in, and it said a fixed penny here. You literally would tape the penny to the thing mailing in. Do you remember that?
Hilarious. Now that you say it, yes, yeah.
So funny.
That is wild to think about.
They must have had some tax code for write-offs because there was no way, like, for losses. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for all the people that didn't pay, they must have had some tax code where they were able to rebound some of those losses.
You know what, though, Rich? We're going to have to add Columbia House to the conversation of, man, Blockbuster really blew it. They could have had Netflix. Because Columbia House was ahead of their time of, we want to get music into the hands of people. Like, how were they not the next
Columbia House could
Amazon or something else, right? Like,
you ain't kidding.
They were ahead of the game, and we all knew it. We all did it. For me, the one that comes to mind is like CNC Music Factory for real. Like we have embarrassing CDs that we got because it was a penny. Who cared?
Embarrassing. I love CNC Music
I mean,
Factory.
I like it too.
In fact,
But,
cue that up for our way back, Sam.
Yeah, but the fact that it was around for 71 years and done today, it's one of those things that make you go,
Good one.
who is buying this stuff still?
All right.
All right.
Your feedback next. Phones are hot. Love the feedback. In for the great Dan Patrick. More Covino and Rich and Columbia House. Next on Fox Sports Radio.
All right, let's talk about our friends at Panini America, the official trading card and NFT partner of the Dan Patrick Show. Panini continues to deliver a premier collecting experience across the WNBA, FIFA, and NASCAR and more with trading cards, stickers, digital collectibles, and Panini Instant, bringing fans closer to the sport, players, and moments they love.
Yeah, the WNBA and NWSL seasons are in full swing, giving collectors plenty of to follow all summer long. Chase cards and collectibles featuring Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, back-to-back NWSL MVP Chowinga, and more of the top players across both leagues. Panini is also seeing record-breaking momentum in digital collectibles at nft.paniniamerica.net.
Get this.
Yeah.
Fans can open digital packs. See? Tangible. Got to open your digital packs. Find limited releases and build collections featuring some of the biggest names and moments in sports with Panini Instant. Collectors can find near real-time cards.
Yeah, inspired by the plays, performances, and milestones everyone's talking about. Visit PaniniAmerica.net, check out nft.paniniamerica.net, or download the Panini Direct app to start building your collection today. John Bernthal of The Walking Dead, Punisher himself, said that I don't trust people who take naps.
He's like, you're an adult. Who takes naps?
If you take a nap, I don't trust you in business. I don't trust you in life. You're a grown-up. What are you taking a nap for?
You a kindergarten kid?
I don't trust you. And it just got us talking before the show.
Science doesn't back him up, though.
And, sometimes a nap is good, Danny G. It feels good to take a nap.
I'll tell you what, when we fill in for Dan Patrick, and word on the streets is we're going to do that the weekend.
Next weekend. Next week.
Not this week. Next week.
Yeah.
When we fill in for Dan Patrick, being that he's on earlier, especially out here in California, it throws off our schedule so hard. Later that day, it's almost guaranteed. George Foreman guaranteed.
I guarantee
that we're falling asleep or taking a little nap.
Well, think about it. If,
little nap later
most
that
of
day.
Most of our affiliates are, as Danny always points out, back East Coast and Midwest, right? But when we fill in for Dan out here in LA,
we're up at 4:35 in the morning.
That's 6 a.m. So we're up in the 4 o'clock hour, getting ready to come here and get ready for the show. Covino, you're damn right. By 2 in the afternoon, you're not ready, Danny G, for a little, like, you telling Brenda, like, you mind if I take a half-hour nap?
I'm taking a 2-hour nap.
So, I mean, naps, that's a question itself. Is it weird for grown men to take naps?
I think if your schedule, like I said, if your schedule's off, you were traveling, you're jet lagged, I think sometimes there's just no avoiding it.
Dan Byer, if you go out golfing and you are in the heat, 18 holes, long day on the course, when you get home, would your wife question you if you fell asleep taking a nap on the couch?
No, not at all. I think there's a difference between planned naps and one where you just kind of doze off.
As our parents would say, you conked out.
You're absolutely right. Like if you're an adult and you have to like revolve your day around your nap time, like you're in kindergarten, I think that's weird. Well, if you're so exhausted, like Danny and Danny G, you both have little guys. They're exhausting. You might just conk out watching something boring on TV.
I think little kid napping and adult napping are two different things. Little kids need to nap not because they have so much energy, but like their mood will sour closer to bedtime if they don't nap. And adults nap because we're like lacking energy. Like
and your body's telling you, right?
Yeah, this article says sleep scientists are not on his side. They consistently find naps improve mood, memory, and productivity.
You know what's wild about that, Danny G? It's like, in reality, to back up what you're saying there, most of the time, even if it's like 15, 20 minutes, you wake up feeling totally different. Like, wow, that's all I needed, I guess.
It's like turning your iPhone on and off.
Yeah, and like the longer you end up sleeping, the more tired you feel, right? So sometimes you just need that little nap. But John Bernthal makes a funny point. Like what kind of adult needs their little nap time? I don't trust adults that nap.
Said that in a bit. It was hilarious. It's Sebastian Maniscalco. He's like, when we grew up in my household, when you were up, you were up. There was no such thing as a nap.
Let me tell you, we talked about conspiracy theories earlier in the show. Do we know who invented the 8-hour workday? It was Thomas Edison. Not Thomas Edison. Henry Ford. I was going to say Gerald Ford, not him either. It was Ford who decided to make the factory workday 9 to 5. Not Dolly Parton. She didn't come out with that. It was 9 to 5, and Ford just said, let's do that.
No,
and
Thomas Edison sang the song, right?
Yeah. No, wait, Dolly Parton sang the song. Anyway.
Now you confuse me.
Yeah. No, it was Thomas Edison, Gerald Ford, and Babe Ruth.
Oh, okay, all together.
They started 9 to 5.
No, but it was
you're confusing me, man.
No, it was Henry Ford who said that. And if you look it up, the idea of someone saying you need an 8-hour night of sleep, that's also a myth. It could range from 6 to 7 for some people, 9 for others. So the 8-hour. You need 8 hours of sleep. That's also a myth.
Maybe Bernthal has like outstanding stamina. He only needs to sleep 6 hours a night, and he doesn't need to nap.
Doesn't believe in it.
Well, Bernthal, he's wound pretty tight. He seems like he's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, it says his comment is a reflection of his own high energy approach.
This is why you got to watch the show. Watch what you hear right now, because you're missing out on Iowa Sam's dance moves. Okay. Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick.
Here is the dome. Back with the bass. The jam is live in effect, and I don't waste time.
Dome. You got the dome. Rich got the dome.
There's a reason Michael Scott picked this song to get everybody to come down to Cafe Disco. Because it gets you going at this hour.
Yeah. I mean, I got this for a penny, bro. Beat that deal.
This still would slap at a wedding, a party, a bar, anything. Who does like CNC Music Factory?
So it's Covino and Rich in for DP. We got Danny G on the phones at 877-99 on Fox. And we're going to get to all your phone calls. The most interactive show on radio, most inclusive. And Sam on the ones and twos with his dance moves. Thanks for all your feedback. Now, lots of cool guests this week. I want to thank Marvin of the Danettes stopped by on Monday.
True.
Yesterday, we had Drew Brees, Hall of Famer, Dr. Drew Brees. That was a lot of fun.
Said he wanted to be the next Ken Griffey Jr.
We had Master Impressionist Frank Caliendo yesterday. So if you missed any of that, catch the podcast, search Covino and Rich. Again, you can watch it on YouTube. And today, hip-hop legend, speaking of music in Columbia House, Ice Cube will be on the show. Not Ice-T, Rich. Ice Cube, get it right. Not Vanilla Ice, bro.
Yeah.
Ice Cube will be here.
And we're going to hear from the great Hambino.
The great Hambino. We only bring you the best. This guy, how many home runs did he hit? The great Hambino?
More than you.
Yeah, he.
Patrick Renna.
I'm sorry.
And Danielle Fishel. They got
that
new.
People wonder, Rich, what qualifies these bozos to be on Fox Sports Radio? You're listening to the guy, me, Covino, 27 Little League home runs.
Oh, that's
in my Little League career. Over the fence, because it doesn't count if it wasn't.
His life was all downhill from there.
You're absolutely right.
Glad you peaked at 12.
If you want to bring the great Hambino here, I say the great Covino is better, but Hambino will be here, and Danielle Fishel, Topanga. So lots of people stopping by, but thank you for being here. And we're going to get to some foosball.
Yeah.
We're going to talk fire or friction. Like, how do you feel, Rich, if your $200 million QB, Bo Nix, was in a melee, you're cool with that?
I'm cool. I love the fact you used the word melee. That's the first time you've ever said that word.
Yeah. You like that one?
Melee.
How about, I said tussle? I don't know.
How about scrum?
A little scrum, a little tiff. Because there's been a lot of fire at all these camps.
A lot of fighting. A lot
of fighting. And it's
especially
like,
the joint practices.
Is that good or is that bad for the team chemistry? And you're seeing it on Hard Knocks and everything.
Dude, I'm telling you, Bruce Buffer's going to pop up and be like, fighting at every single camp. So we'll get to fighting.
We got to talk about that.
But let's take a couple quick final phone calls on Columbia House, a part of the 90s, a part of, I mean, it was around for 71 years, but I picture CDs in the 90s, 12 for a penny, no one really paid. You got them delivered with fake names. Somehow, they were in business until today. Done.
Colin in New York wants to weigh in on this.
What's up, Colin?
Hey, Colin.
You were talking about Boyz II Men, and I was definitely looking for some because they used to do barbershop quartet type songs, the doo-wop style.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for that. I was looking for Frank Stallone, There Are Two Kinds of Love, that stuff,
Okay,
and
if you really want it. Hold on.
Covino will give it to you.
There are two kinds of love that you ought to know. There are two kinds of love. You're a little pitchy, dog.
I'm sorry.
But there you go.
That was
fantastic.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Columbia House and Frank Stallone, you better believe, I truly believe that everybody had that Rocky Balboa soundtrack, the Rocky soundtrack for your mean workout when you were on creatine going to GNC in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think all of us had that. I'm pretty sure I got my Rocky soundtrack from Columbia House. I think that's one of the CDs I got for a penny.
But if you're just joining us now, we discovered a crazy fun fact. Covino's the one guy that actually paid.
I did. You got 12 for a penny, but then you were responsible.
Do you feel weird about that? Do you feel weird meaning when you hear wait a minute, you guys didn't pay?
Responsible. Were you not responsible?
No.
That's what I mean.
No, I was responsible.
I was a responsible kid. So, and I can't be the only one because they're still in business as of today. You were then responsible for about 6 to 8 at regular price, which was a jacked up price.
When you don't have someone's credit card on file, no one's going to pay.
Yeah.
Look at it. I just saw a stat that said, it's talking about people and their dishonesty. 3 out of 10 people admit to stealing at self-checkout. So, I mean, you talk about...
What was the numbers?
3 out of 10 people admit openly
Self-checkout.
they steal from self-checkout at the store.
So 3 out of 12 are trash bags?
3 to 10. 3
That's
to 10.
30%.
Yeah, 30%. So 1 out of 3
guys should be
people.
embarrassed.
So what I'm saying is, did you really expect people to buy CDs when they got 12 for a penny with no credit card on file?
I feel like it's a true...
testament
of your character.
Kind of the store's fault, too, because we're not employees. Why are we checking ourselves out?
Danny's like, and that's why I steal cookies.
These Tic Tacs were free.
Oopsie, forgot to scan it.
No, I don't steal anything, but, the camera, and they show you on the screen.
Yeah, at Target, they show you the whole time. You're like, oh.
I always tell them they're number one, my number one employer on the camera as I leave.
You should moon them, Danny G. Let's bring that back since we're talking about the 90s.
Let's wrap this topic with Jerry in Toledo.
What's up, Jerry?
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you guys. You guys made me laugh out loud when you talked about pulling out the entire radio and having the CD player in the back.
Yeah, dude, that was a different world, right?
Then that turned into the detachable face. Remember, you didn't have to pull out the entire thing, just the face.
Yep.
I had the face. I had the digital EQ. I had a 10-disc Blaupunk.
Dude, I had the one that flipped inside, and then it looked like nothing was.
Oh, you guys are big time.
No, but these were bragging rights, and we were proud of those things. It was just a different time. I do miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I like moving forward, but I do miss that because our just like your identity is so tied into a team or a sport and things like that. Our identity was so tied into that. Think of how many hours you spent alphabetizing your CDs or learning the music or making copies of it. And yeah, man, it was a big deal.
I rocked the car-ready Discman. So you'd have the cassette that had the little wire attached to it, and then you would pop that in, and then you could use your Discman in your car. Yeah. You guys remember that?
Jerry, what are your thoughts to wrap it up, man?
Okay, well, I was just going to say, date myself. I still remember my first Columbia House order, REM Out of Time, Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, in your CNC Music Factory.
Yeah.
One last thing. Here's the other thing you don't remember. There was a Laserdisc club. I know because I was a member. Laserdisc. Remember those? That's
of
why
course.
DVDs are around.
Yep.
Absolutely. Rich probably bought his Jock Jams from Columbia House.
Pump
for
up
sure.
Speaking of Dan Patrick, remember Jock Jams started? Welcome to the big show.
Yeah, that's right. Rich definitely got Jock Jams on Columbia House. But thank you guys for reminiscing. From time to time, we like to take it back. Do, take it back.
I'm trying to think of,
Oh, by the way, if you love nostalgia, tomorrow afternoon on our usual time slot from 5 to 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 to 4 on the West Side, we do old school when 50 hits.
Yeah.
So every Thursday,
we take an old school topic and we reminisce a little bit. Once a week, throw it back. It's nice to reminisce. You don't want to do too much of it, but nostalgia.
Yeah, we do it once a week.
Yeah, nostalgia hits really hard with our generation. I feel like if you're 30-something to 50-something, I know it's a big window, but I feel like if you were a kid of the 80s or 90s, there's just something so special about our childhood that it feels nice to reminisce. I know our parents would probably be like, well, I'll save for the 50s or 60s, but I don't know. I feel like the 80s or 90s, there was just a different type of pop culture boom with music and sports and everything.
But R.I.P. Columbia House, 71 years. It's like that person, they were still, I didn't even know they were still alive.
Wow, look at them kicking. Good for them. Now, Bo Nix, as you said, what did you say, a scrum, a scuffle? A tussle?
Melee,
a melee?
Yeah.
How do you feel about all these fights at camp? How do you feel about the inter-squad, two-team practices? And you saw it go down yesterday in multiple practices.
Dude, especially the Cowboys and Saints.
Yeah, these inter squads are having inter squabbles. There's another one. And I don't think it's good, man. Again, fire or friction.
You like the fire?
The fire's good, but not amongst teammates. I just – and it's everywhere
That's where the Bo Nix story comes in.
And by the way, here's another thing, too, we got to keep in mind. These things always have happened, and now they're more magnified. So that's – and you know what? It becomes a storyline, and – every week now we're starting to hear stuff. So maybe it's just a matter of that, too.
You know what? Let me leave you with this, though, and we'll take your feedback next. What happened a couple weeks ago? One of the first big fights of the preseason was
my boy Max
Crosby and Kirk Cousins. And perhaps not only has that been squashed, but brought the team closer together because Max Crosby put on social media a few days back a joking tail of the tape with him and with him and Kirk Cousins. And, if it's water under the bridge and it's like, yo, man, I'm fiery, you're fiery, yo, we got this. Maybe those things are needed once in a while. I know it's usually the plot line of every sports movie, midway through the movie, there's a fight in the locker room or something happens, but that fires the team up. Does that apply to real life? Do you like this or not? We'll take your feedback next. We'll talk a bunch of NFL today. And again, we welcome Ice Cube in a couple hours. So hang tight. More Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick.
I don't think Max Crosby, again, they're on the same team, should be using his wild man antics on nice guy, starting quarterback, leader of the team, Kirk Cousins. I get it. Max Crosby's the veteran there. He's the Raider. But guess what? Kirk Cousins is still your quarterback. Now, the story is, Danny G, correct me if I'm wrong, as the resident Raiders fan, on Friday, word was that at camp, during training camp, at a practice, Max Crosby was being the wild and crazy Raider guy. And
nonstop motor.
Yep. He hit Cousins once, Cousins probably was like, hey, I don't like that, right? He does it again while he's throwing, and they got into a little bit of a tiff.
That's right.
Tussle.
Cousins went up to him, got in his face, told him what he thought.
Which is wild,
and then
right?
he grabbed Max Crosby's jersey.
Well, I expect nothing different from a leader like Cousins, but I can't believe that Max Crosby would even, push or shove. Or
you can't believe it. We've seen these stories in the past. Remember the story from some of their joint practices where the opposing quarterback was like, this dude needs to calm the F down.
Not only is he the starting quarterback and a veteran in the league, right? I feel like certain people don't warrant a ball busting, that type of treatment. And I feel like Kirk Cousins appears to be that guy. I don't feel like he's the guy you mess with in that way. He seems too likable, too kind, too much of a man on a mission. Like, he's just a good all-around dude. So why is Matt Crosby?
No. There's things you earn when you're a veteran, right? When you're the top dog. And Kirk Cousins has done enough to be that top dog, right? Like, we always say when people have to take those crappy tests around here at iHeart or Fox, like the hey, fill out this human resources survey, or do you think Colin Cowherd does that? Do you think Colin Cowherd's sitting at his kitchen table doing the HR test?
My guess is no.
He probably has an intern.
I think Ryan Music does it for him.
But yeah, exactly. Chewy's there going like, I got it, boss.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I'm saying, and that's because it's deserved. I don't think Colin should have to take the rando HR test. Kelly Clarkson recently was saying that
Kelly Clarkson?
One of the most annoying things about her NBC daytime show was that they still made her do all that, and she's like, "Are you serious?"
The host of her own show.
But I just think Kirk Cousins in the football world shouldn't get the shove. I said to Covino on the drive in, we were chatting, I said, do you think Fred Warner would tussle with Brock Purdy? Do you think Micah Parsons would be tossing around Jordan Love? Do you think any other big-time defensive, fiery guy would be putting hands on their QB?
No, I don't think so. I think he's using his Raiders veteranship. Is that a word? I just made that up.
I'd go with it.
And he's like, yo, I'm the Raider. I'm Max Crosby. I do what I want. And Kirk Cousins, I like that Kirk Cousins. I like that.
You like that he's fired up?
I like that he grabbed
did say this. Cousins said this after right before both of them got suspended for the next practice. Cousins says he doesn't know if he's ever played with a teammate who's as impactful on defense as Max Crosby.
Well, here's the update. He put hands on Cousins. Cousins got back at him. They got into a little tussle. Apparently, Coach Clint Kubiak, you couldn't resist yourself, huh?
Apparently.
Anytime I say apparently, Rich turns
don't you
into
think of that little redheaded kid that was like, apparently, my grandpa plays
on TV
doing the hula
before.
dance.
My grandpa plays the lottery.
My grandpa plays Powerball. Apparently.
That kid's like 35 now.
All the improv you gave was 100% incorrect and inaccurate.
Oh, sorry, he plays the Powerball, not lottery. My grandpa plays the Powerball, apparently. I love that little redheaded kid. By the way, people don't realize that kid grew up, he's Ed Sheeran.
Dude, were you snorting coffee beans before we got here? Let me finish this.
Sorry.
So apparently, Coach Clint Kubiak on Saturday, I guess, had a talking to? Put him in suspension?
Yeah, he told
him. The story was they put him on timeout.
Both of them, you're going to go sit on that chair in the corner for one practice and think about what you did.
Think about that. So he put the dunce cap on him, and they sat in the corner for an entire practice just because they went at it. So
one of the beat writers also said there was an ulterior motive that veterans needed a rest that day anyway.
Okay, and he used this as a way to show or make an example of them, but really they just had to sit out. Fine. But the question here is, in the words of John Kreese, Sensei John Kreese, I like that. Do you like that? Or do you...
Covino and Rich Show.
Thanks, Mike.
And by the way, that really was Mike Tyson. Like, no joke. That wasn't Frank Caliendo.
Or you. Or
me. That was Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking some fighting. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick, day 3 of the Dan Patrick Hattrick. So if you just joined us, man, you missed 2 other great shows, in my opinion. You may disagree.
Man.
But we had a lot of fun this week. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, not putting up with us. And today,
I'd say 7 out of 10.
We got Ice Cube, dude. Ice Cube. Speaking of music.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to him later on about the big 3. And, of course, life, catch up with Ice Cube. And we got the great Hambino, Patrick Renna, and Danielle Fishel. You're going to hear from them on our show, Covino and Rich. Danny G's here. Iowa Sam is here. Thank you guys for being here. 877-99 on Fox. Fire or friction is where we're at. and we're going to take your phone calls. I guess now. Let's get involved. But have you ever wiped with a piece of dry toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets?
No, it's not. Switch to life-changing, extra-large, flushable Dude Wipes because wetter just cleans better. Available at Amazon and all major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down. Now, fighting, you said it. NFL, these fights are breaking out everywhere at camps. Not only just on inter-squad games, Danny G. It's not just like, hey, joint practices. You talk about all these guys fighting for like roster spots. It's going to get fiery, but within their own team. So that's the narrative the last few days, that it's just a lot of fighting.
Do you think there's something different going on, or does this always happen? Obviously, fights break out, but is it more of a thing now than before? Like, is there something in the water?
No,
Are people stressed out?
I think it could be a little
society
of both.
getting people all riled up.
No, I think it's
or is it we're just magnifying something that's always been there?
Something we touched on the other day, which was back in the day, much like the NFL draft, it used to be, a bunch of guys smoking cigars in a wood panel looking basement, and now it's in a city with hundreds of thousands of people on the streets, and it's $1 billion type of thing. I think training camp was something like you heard here and there, the team's getting ready for the season. You had more preseason games, and just the NFL was different. Now, every camp has not only just reporters, but fans and people have access with flip camera. It's not like one person with a flip cam in the 2000s. Everyone's got their phone out. You're getting almost too much coverage.
Lots of podcasters now for each team. So, just overall more coverage.
And the latest story is Bo Nix was in the melee, as we said before, with the Broncos. You got your $200 million quarterback, in the middle of this, getting hit hard. He's getting hit hard at practice, which is a no-no.
I mean, a guy that...
And you see that on Hard Knocks, too.
I mean, a guy that, for all we know, if he had not got hurt at the very end of the AFC Championship game, we might be... I'm sorry, in the divisional, we might be seeing... Bo Nix in the Super Bowl last year. You don't need that young, talented guy in the middle of something like that.
Even more reason to back off and protect the guy.
He's coming off an injury.
And things got heated. There was a pylon. I believe Bo Nix had to pull Nick Bonita out of the pylon by the leg, right?
He pulled him out by his leg because those two were going at it. Nix threw a pick. Things got super heated.
That's not very Bonita.
And another Bronco came out of the bottom of the pile bleeding and had to leave the field.
So we got the Broncos fired up, again, amongst each other. The Chiefs, the Raiders, we already talked about that. We talked about that last week.
But you got to remember that
the Cowboys, the Saints.
Cowboys and Saints had at least 8 fights.
And the Browns, too. They ended practice early, right? 30 minutes early because things were so heated amongst each other.
Todd Monken, their new head coach, said things were too physical.
I guess it's just it's obviously, again, we're not playing dumb here. It's obviously part of the game, but it's become a storyline.
Let me throw this number out there.
Is it good for the team is really what we're asking.
An NFL team, according to NFL rules and roster limit breakdowns, a team could have 90 players during its training camp on the roster at any time. So you're talking about 90 guys. Do the math. Almost 40 are not going to make the team. So these are not all guys that know each other. We've talked to NFL players, and the honest sentiment is like, only some quarterbacks can name everyone on the team. And it's very rare for you to know everyone else on the team. Do you know the punter? Some people don't even know who's on the other side of the ball. Like, I don't know everyone on defense. I'm on offense.
Oh, hey, man. Hey.
How's
it going?
So it's 53 guys, but right now there's 90. 40 are on the brink of like having to figure out what they're going to do next.
That's a pressure.
So you don't think there's pressure, anxiety, tension's high, and
you're trying to get noticed.
But Rich, we're seeing star players get into these.
That's
big
where it's
scraps.
weird. That's where like a Bo Nix needs to step back. But if you're a backup lineman, Danny G, and you're like, it's either this or I have to get like a regular job at the store.
Right. But this was their star. This is the Broncos' star pass rusher getting into it.
That's what I'm saying.
With their $200 million quarterback.
And then sometimes, you know what? A guy trying to make the team might think, I'm going to make my impact by going at the stars to show that I'm like, I'm a fiery guy. I just think that in these scenarios, star players got to back away. But I could understand, and you could understand where they're not all friends. They're fighting to be on a roster. And then the reality is they're hoping, well, if it doesn't work out here, I'll be on some other team's practice squad, and maybe that's my route. So we can't act like just because these 90 guys are on the Broncos are all pals. Half of them won't be there in 2 weeks. and they're fighting each other for millions of dollars.
And speaking of, dude,
millions of dollars.
You got Teofimo, Rolly Romero this weekend. Actual
not
fight.
as good as the fight with the
Not
Broncos.
as good? All right, how about Ryan Garcia, Connor Ben next month?
Maybe that one.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, we got more Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick next right here on Fox Sports Radio. A lot of NFL and Ice Cube coming up.
Can we please discuss the Justin Herbert, Madison beer thing? Can we please discuss PDA the way we meant to discuss it?
Say something without sounding like a creep?
Probably not, because everybody knows you're a creep anyway, so go ahead.
Let me try. Dude, she's like abnormally good looking. Like
Really?
Gorgeous.
We saw her at the iHeart Jingle Ball, right?
We Covino and I every year take our daughters on a little daddy-daughter night to iHeart's Jingle Ball. She performed. Every time I see this woman, I'm like, yo, she is just strikingly good looking. No creepo.
She's 27 years old.
It's like she's just abnormally good looking. And Justin Herbert is a quarterback in the NFL. It's like a match made in heaven.
If anyone has something to say in HR, I'm doing this for research purposes, but I'm looking up these really sexy photos.
I didn't say do that.
Well, research. I got to see what you're talking about.
Private browser.
Yeah, all right.
Buddy.
No, she's beautiful, but
like stunning.
What would we expect from a superstar starting NFL studly young quarterback? Who's he supposed to be with? As my mom would say, Broomhilda? Or whatever, right?
Mrs. Grundy?
Oh, she's, who do we expect him to be with?
Now, I've
Plus,
noticed.
Travis Kelce, rose the stakes a lot. Everyone's looking for their Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift sort of power couple moment nowadays. It's definitely in the air.
I think a lot of times when you talk about celebrity couples, power couples, the Russell Wilsons and Sierras, the Travis and Taylors,
Travis didn't invent it, but he put it on the map.
The Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld, the Verlander and
hold on. We can think about it. Let's use our brains.
Yes.
Kate Upton.
Stop!
I was going to say BJ Upton. You're right. Kate.
That's not BJ Upton.
It's Kate.
That could be your nickname. I don't know. So when you think about all these amazing celebrity couples, right?
Yeah.
Athlete with, successful, beautiful, talented woman. I feel like Madison Beer and Justin Herbert, not that they're going under the radar, but like Jim Harbaugh is so supportive.
Did you mention Josh Allen?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh is so supportive. The team is so supportive. Her people, to the point where it's almost like, all right, well, where is the line? And I know you feel like you saw the line the other day.
I saw the line this week. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's gone completely viral. We did touch on it yesterday, but didn't have that much time. We had a fun discussion, a fun show yesterday. If you missed it, everything on the podcast or YouTube page. All right, so the picture is
the NFL could be going international soon. Commissioner Roger Goodell saying he has no doubt that the league will eventually expand and add a team from outside the U.S. Training camps continue with teams preparing for their second preseason games. 2 matchups coming up tomorrow. The Texans host the Raiders, and the Chargers welcome the 49ers. An injury during the Chargers' practice with the Niners. Chargers starting center Tyler Biadasz was carted off the field with a lower leg injury. He'll be examined further today. At Jets camp, running back Breece Hall suffered a groin injury. He's out 2 to 3 weeks, but is expected to be ready for the season opener. Baseball last night included a record. The Brewers beat the Mariners 22-0, equaling the big league mark for the most lopsided shutout in history. Milwaukee punctuated the blowout by scoring 9 times in the 8th inning. Manager Pat Murphy.
You've all been involved in different things, but it's one game and it's a pretty good performance.
The Brewers now 78-48, best record in baseball. I'm Matt McCoy.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the 4 Danettes are not here. No! So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Always an honor when we fill in for one of the greatest ever, Dan Patrick. You got Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio.
Always fun. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Steve Covino, kid from Union, New Jersey. Rich Davis, put the square in Franklin Square. Danny G.
Can I give you an observation?
Yeah.
As Iowa Sam's running the show here, we got Big Mike in a few minutes. We'll have some fun here. When you do a different time at any job you have, it changes your gym schedule, and you see a whole new world of...
Not just your gym schedule, because my belly's a little like...
No, but... I don't want to hear about
that. It changes your gym schedule, like you don't go to the gym at all?
No, but...
Because you're just too tired, and you're like, I can't do this.
I feel like it's like new random people, like, who are these weird mutants? Who's that hot girl? Like, I feel like the gym is like...
the 1 p.m. gym crowd.
Like a completely different crowd. It's like, who's that?
Yeah. People who do the third shift and the first shift also, you might need a little nap after your job. And so one day kind of feels like 2 days.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's like 2 parts.
Well,
two naps.
Hopefully you are having a great morning. Hopefully you're having, like I said earlier today, a PCA type of week.
It's so funny. It ties into what Danny G was saying because he was like, yo, man, PCA had a night. And I'm like, yeah, he had a walk-off like 2 days ago, right? And he's like, yeah, it was yesterday. Like, it was? Yeah. Feels like 2 days ago. My clock is so thrown off.
Lead-off home run, walk-off home run. The MVP odds are shifting in his favor over Shohei Ohtani.
Although Shohei had a great game yesterday, yeah.
So it's actually way closer than we would ever think. And the craziest part about it is that it's just so perfect that it's the Mets who gave him up. I'm a Mets fan, and it's just like there couldn't be something more typical that the Mets bet on every bunk prospect, but like the one they're like, oh, well, we'll deal PCA. But remember, they're like, we can never part ways with Vientos or Beatty or the Mets are criminal in like, there's no way we could deal so-and-so, but we could deal this guy. And it works out bad every time. Just let me vent for 10 seconds about the Mets.
Before you get to that, let me say instant karma for you, my friend. Yesterday, you were trying to clown on my Dodgers a little bit. And what happened to the Mets? Tatis Jr.
That was cold.
To your Mets.
Let me tell you, Tatis Jr. with that grand slam robbery of Lindor, when he jumps up and he does that, he stands there with that most cold ass pose. Like I'll be honest, I had a clap for that. That was pretty badass. But just to think about how sorry my Mets are. Think of all those pitchers for a minute that were hot.
We don't need extra convincing. I think everybody knows. But go ahead.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back to like within the last 10 years, the Mets decided to bank on Thor, Noah Syndergaard. Did that work out?
No.
The Dark Knight, Matt Harvey. Did that work out? Neither one of those guys are in the league. Who was the guy they said, yeah, we'll let him go, though? Zach Wheeler. You know, every year for the last couple of years, Cy Young type of guy.
Yeah.
The Mets, let's keep Francisco Alvarez, untouchable. Beatty, untouchable. Vientos, untouchable. A couple of years back, PCA? Yeah, well, we'll deal him. It's like you can't make this up. It's how bad their decision making is.
Yeah, sorry about that, Rich.
I don't want to jump in out of turn
hi,
here.
Big Mike.
Okay,
Yeah.
But it's not just about them being unable to recognize talent when it's sitting right in front of them. It's their inability to develop the talent when it's there. So you take a guy like PCA and you leave him on the Mets, he's not PCA, bro. He's not looking for MVPs, bro. He does not have the support to do that.
Maybe you're right. To me, it's just always this way. And I'm sure everyone feels that way about their team. I get it. I'm sure there's fans of different teams in the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, where you're like, this always happens to my team. But I do feel like I'm not being a prisoner of my own team. I really do feel like the Mets have a knack of these terrible decisions.
I feel like you should talk to somebody about it.
You know what? This is good therapy talk. You know what? What's wrong? It's my Mets. Yeah. I can't take it, Doc.
Do you feel better that you got this off your chest?
I'll be honest. Big audience, Dan Patrick. I apologize. I'm
great.
just saying. It's just God. It's frustrating. It's like. By the way, Frank the Tank from Barstool?
Yeah.
I feel like that poor guy's got a heart attack. He gets so upset about his teams. Mm-hmm. He actually, someone reposted in 2021, he said, I guarantee you, this is going to be the worst move the Mets ever make. Get rid of PCA. And because I think he was that touted guy, Danny. You know how every team, your Dodgers, you know your Yankees, the guys that they tout in the minor leagues, like he's the guy. PCA was the guy, and they just said, well, in that moment, they really thought Javi Baez was the short-term answer, and it clearly wasn't. But then again, there's guys that don't work out for every team. You thought Volpe was your next guy. So, what are you going to do?
Exactly. It doesn't always pan out, so they took a chance. It's just their chances aren't working. Rich is a Mets fan, a disgruntled, sad Mets fan. I'm a Yankees fan. We got Danny G, Dodgers fan. Iowa Sam, he's just, I don't know.
Hey, I grew up rooting for the Phillies.
There you go. And now we welcome
Cheesesteak Sammy.
A guy who runs this place.
Who?
Yeah, I mean, so I've heard. Mike, who runs this take.
Who's the microphone assassin?
It's time for Mike, who runs this take.
Who? Big Mike may get to be in charge of this segment, but he still doesn't run this place. He really doesn't even run this segment when you think about it, because this mic can be turned off by Sam at any moment.
That may be true, but Big Mike does get to pick the topic, and then CNR offer their strong opinions on it. Consider it a warm-up to Midweek Major. Mike, who runs this take.
Who? Now, don't be confused. If you're watching the show, it's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's Cold Stone Mike.
Thank you for that. That's a very sweet intro. Thank you. Thanks, Cove. That's sweet.
If you're new to our show, Mike's the guy that runs the office here. He oversees
Hello, everybody.
everything.
He smacks people around.
And he's like, we always hang with Mike. He's a great guy. He always says some either wildly dumb stuff or insightful stuff. So Mike comes in here once a week and gives a wild take, and we decide if it's ridiculous or there's some merit to it.
And today we are talking about AI and what it is doing to our society.
As the memes go, I miss the days when AI meant Allen Iverson.
Right, and we've got a little sports crossover with AI, as a matter of fact. I want you guys to, I don't know if you saw this online, Jason Kelce with his, Jason.
Yeah.
With his commercial. Where he is, he's not really very happy with the AI data centers. Sam?
AI data centers waste millions of gallons of water. That's why Liquid Death and Garage Beer have decided to team up. We want your pee to cool these data centers. We want your pee. Please give us your pee. Let's pee on computers together. We need lots of pee, endless gallons of pee.
What's this, Mike? What is this?
Okay, all right, so that's plenty. Yeah. That's plenty of Jason singing about our pee.
Yeah.
So it really begs the question about what AI is really doing to society, not just with the data centers. Yeah. Obviously, that was tongue-in-cheek from, nobody really wants your pee. Please don't actually send him your pee.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. But the real question is, how is AI, and I would say, ruining the next generation that are coming up? They're ruining, and it goes back to the Columbia House discussion.
Yeah.
We're not touching anything anymore. Everything is disappearing and all becoming digital. what is that doing to us as a society?
It's a big story this week, actually, Mike. They're saying a lot of major corporations are trying to clear out the trash because all this AI is flooding up all the systems, and even brands like Spotify and other music streamers removed 75 million bulk uploads and duplicate songs and other spammy tracks just recently. Getting rid of the AI slop is a top priority for everybody, is what they're saying. Google described how the video service wiped 130,000 channels of low-quality content off its platform in the past 6 months. So all these major companies are like, yeah, this is a problem because people don't know what's real. It's watering down the product. You know, there's so many jabronis out there that are just putting code into AI and they're saying things like this. Hey, make me a kid's channel. Make me some nursery rhymes about a piglet. And
and here comes AI.
And here comes a bunch of videos. And
it's making us stupid, and we are losing our creativity.
But people think they could be the next big YouTube channel, and they're just pumping out crap that AI's throwing out there, and they're hoping that kids buy into it. And it is working for some people, but we're getting so much crappy content, and we're losing.
I don't know if it's.
Quality.
I don't know if
it's more about quantity and less quality now.
I don't know if it's so. I don't know if it's such crappy content. I think
it is.
I think what's happening is
trash.
I think what's happening is we're sadly seeing AI make something in mere seconds that used to take a creative human quite a while to do. It could be like if you're on the radio or doing a podcast, like a bit or a parody song, or even people that are authors and writing scripts and books and everything. Like I'm telling you, Mike, it's terrible. I think over generations, if it doesn't go away, people are just going to lose all senses of creativity.
Well, and don't forget, for about 10 years, there was this deep fake thing that everybody was talking about. Nobody talks about deep fakes anymore. There's no such thing as a deep fake because your AI can do that in 10 seconds.
It's called an all fake.
AI is dangerous also because I feel like occasionally I get fooled. So if you have boomer parents, they could be consuming all fake stuff on social media, whether
it's just the beginning.
Whether it's news, politics, local stuff, national stuff. There's stuff where there's scams going on where people are doing AI of like an older person's kids. Like, I need money, mom.
Yeah.
Send it here. Like, there's so many layers where this could go wrong. But I do feel like, Covino, your daughter's a teenager.
Yeah.
The younger generation
they sniff it out like this.
They sniff it out and they're sort of fighting back like, yeah, this is lame. Like the idea of AI to a teenager is lame, which I think that's the hope.
A graphic.
That is the hope.
Promising.
I think the promise and the hope is that younger people think it's corny. And when younger people think it's corny, I think that there's we're going to. You know, remember, why did
okay.
Why did
Here's the
MySpace go
problem.
away, Mike? Mike, why did MySpace go away? MySpace was the coolest. It got spammy, it got overdone, and then MySpace
went flooded
from
with fake women.
Fake women. Like, look at social media now. You click on something, and it's like, yeah, that girl's not even real. Or that's not
but
even
here's
real.
the problem. Here's the problem. The thing that's not spammy and uncool to the kids is using it to pass a test, using it to write a paper, using
but again,
it. So
instead of your brain,
right? And that's my point. That's I think what we're losing more than anything is our own creativity as like a society, as like a human species. Like, I'm talking about art. I'm talking about literature. I'm talking about basic communication face to face with one another. We are losing these basic skills because we're just giving them to AI.
We made the joke recently how, some kids, again, most kids can sniff this out, but some kids say that they can't write a paper without AI at this point. And we made the joke recently, like, we would write a paper without even reading the book.
It's idiocracy.
It forced us to use our brain.
But then again, you lied about your works cited
I'm
bibliography.
not kidding.
Well,
I
yes,
made no.
it made us creative.
Listen, I made up an entire book to write a book report on. Like, I made up the publishing company, I made up the title because I had to do a book report.
Now that's
right?
using your brain.
I mean, like, because my teacher's really going to go check that this was really a book. Of course, they're not
We
going
have to go to the library and look it up in the
I just made up a whole book.
We used our brain and Cliff's notes.
Well, yeah, that's
by
the
way.
thing.
So we got to pour one out to Cliff.
Me and Danny were talking about how like AI is kind of like Cliff's notes. Like, you should only use it as like a reference, not as something to base your entire project or paper around.
Right. If
Unfortunately,
you're
do that.
using an AI prompt, use it as a prompt. Don't use it as your actual content. You're supposed to get a prompt and then do your own. creative thought process.
I have a question.
Writing it, figuring it out, learning.
Mike, let's say you go to give me any NFL team.
The Carolina Panthers.
Okay, let's say you're Carolina. That is your team. You're the only guy I know to let. I love the Panthers, Mike. So let's say
I don't
you
know
go,
any other Panther fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say good colors.
Yeah, solid colors.
Cool logo. That's the only thing I'd say. Nice. Kidding, Carolina. So let's say you're interviewing Bryce Young.
All right.
Do you because you've seen this on social media where someone's caught not for the Panthers, but people have caught young reporters being like, hey, like ChatGPT, what question should I ask Bryce Young?
Yes.
Is that like cheating as a reporter? Like, are people using AI too much where they're not even using their own noggin? Or do you think that's a tool?
My hope is that in a situation like that, this reporter is not going to stand out and is not going to be able to continue a career by doing that sort of thing because they're not actually getting unique and insightful questions from AI.
And
they're
it's not
just
always
getting
accurate.
bland.
Yeah,
right.
AI is not always accurate either.
But that's, by the way, that's going to change. Don't forget, we're in the infancy of AI.
I know they're uploading books as we speak.
The problem is
they're
uploading books and then they're kind of getting rid of the physical copies of those
they're
books.
chopping them up, and
that's alarming because
that is very
the physical
alarming.
copy being gone is like, okay, well, that was our last point of reference there.
I think there's guys. What happened when socially, quote, woke culture got too much? There's a pushback, and the pendulum always sort of comes back to the middle, right? I think that AI, once you push the limit, there is going to be that like younger kid pushback. Like AI's corny and lame. I don't like AI. I think eventually we'll find a place where AI fits into what we do, but like pump the brakes. I think at some point, I like to think it's not going to be the problem we think it's going to be.
I don't know, man. You got these AI tech nerds, pushing all these different companies. There's guys constantly on social media talking about AI.
You know what Covino and I talk about once in a while that we call it the old-fashioned. Sounds dirty, but it's not. Given the old-fashioned. Sometimes your instinct is too much to not use your head, and you immediately look it up. Not even like chat or AI. Like if I was like, hey, what was the score of that, Raiders, Eagles Super Bowl? A lot of times,
use your brain.
Instead of trying to be like, hey, what was the score? You're so quick to not even try to.
It's the information superhighway, bro.
So
remember, information superhighway.
But at the same time, Rich, we do live shows on PM Drive on the network, and when you ask a question out loud, I type it into my advanced Chad GPT. We call him Chad because he's our homie. And it gives me the info you need on the spot. So I hear what you're saying, but it's got to just be used as a tool. You can't be lazy. Here's what I do, for Brainwave, our Friday game.
Yeah.
I write the questions. I write my 3 answers that I think are like even, and you guys are going to have a hard time with. But then I shoot it over to my Chad GPT, and I say, are any of these answers a runaway? And it'll tell me, and then I look at other options. So I kind of use it to check my work or help me to advance my work, but I don't use it to do the work for me.
How do you feel about this, Danny? How do you feel about some of the works in corporate America that runs every one of their emails through chat before they send it to their employees?
Yeah, listen,
it's a good safeguard.
AI is going to be smarter than us and soon. Like that's
right.
Like
I'll give you.
I don't think you
like
should
we're
do it.
getting into Terminator. Kind of.
I think if you want to make a concise tweet, yeah, AI could help you there. If you're really trying to do something professionally, people pick up on it, though.
They do.
I'm saying people pick up because there's a pattern.
Do we need intelligence to write a tweet?
I'm telling you, I have a teenage daughter, right? So she's right in that pocket. She could tell you, she knows if her teachers or coaches
too glossy.
Straight up put it through AI because there's a pattern
Sounds
to
artificial.
it that they sniff out like immediately. And then when she'll read it to me and she'll point it out, she could predict how the next sentence will be set up because it was clearly AI. But like Sam said, they will improve it. So eventually it becomes better. So you got to be careful either way.
Don't forget, you and a lot of other people are using the free version. The free version is what gave me incorrect info. Once I started paying a small monthly fee, I have advanced information.
Right now, just pay a little money. You can be smart like me.
Right now, I think we just have to pour one out to not only the deep fake guy that you mentioned, Mike, but the Photoshop guy, because no one says Photoshop anymore.
Photoshop
they just say,
guy's gone.
Yo, what is that, AI? No one says, yo, that's Photoshop. This AI, right?
Yep.
And the parody maker, like Rich said. So if you're one of those two people, we feel bad for
or
you.
Jeeves.
Otherwise,
No one's asked that guy anything in 20 years.
Otherwise,
pour one out for Jeeves.
Use it as a tool. Use it to your advantage.
It's not a lot different from Google. Like we'll say, oh, Google it, and no one bats an eye at that. But
it's next level.
The usage, it's next level, and it is improving. They still make mistakes. I remember old Google was like the most reliable thing. You'd be like one word from a song you could type in. Oh, there's the song. But the use of AI that I find like atrophies your brain the fastest is like summarizing emails and summarizing an article. You're like, just read the article. It's already like in bullet points. Why do you need to summarize it? You're lacking the details there.
You know what it is? It's like everything in life. People push things and take it too far. And you're like, if you just used it in moderation, it's like everything, right? Think about it. Drugs, drinking, everything vices, gambling.
Your porn habits.
That too. Everything.
Rich's porn habits.
Say what now?
Everything.
Rich?
By the way, you guys were talking about physical CDs and videotapes earlier, and then I
you
started thinking about porn habits.
You were thinking of those big cases that Smut used to come in.
Milk crates, bro. Milk crates under the bed.
Jeez, it's so wild. Yeah, the old puffy white VHSs. Right? It was either a Disney movie or something you shouldn't be watching.
And by the way, isn't it weird that it was either like Snow White or something else? I don't even wanna, what is she doing with the Seven Dwarfs? I just think that it's people going overboard with anything, right? Moderation, like I said, gambling, like he said, smut.
You could just say the internet. It's like it had a great purpose,
but
then we use it for evil. And that's what happens with AI.
You can't ask humans to like keep it in moderation. There's always going to be bad actors involved who abuse it and misuse it.
Yeah. And don't forget that like even the internet started with universities. Like it was about education and sharing information. That's why the internet started as the information superhighway, and we have gotten to the point where it literally is. It's so simple now that, hell, half the time my Alexa at home will tell me the answer I'm looking for, and I haven't even asked for it. Yeah. Like, she just starts talking to me like, oh, do you want to know about this, that, and the other thing? Well, like, okay.
I think that's where we're headed. Like, your AI in your home is going to start, like, thinking ahead so that you're like, I would have thought of that, like, 10 seconds later, but it already has all the stuff I need.
Do you find it helpful when your at-home device, your Echo or whatever you have, is like, I think you're due to buy paper towels, and you're like, oh my God, I am. Like, did you find that helpful or no?
Sam nailed it. It is helpful. It's how you use it, but I think our phones
it's making us weak.
It's one step ahead of our thoughts. I've picked up on that so many times. Like, wow, how did they know? This is crazy. That's where my train track of thought was going. My phone's already there.
But there is a great use. Like we were talking about PCA. If you're like, man, the guy hit a leadoff home run and a walk-off. Has anyone ever done that before? While Covino's talking, I could turn off my mic. I could turn off my mic and be like, "Hey, chat, dude, has anyone ever done a walk-off?"
Hey, you're gonna put Stat Muse out of business, right?
You're gonna put Elias at the Sports Bureau out of work.
Everybody's gonna be out of business. That's kind of half the point, right? Like AI can do so much stuff that we just don't need people for anymore.
What, Mike?
Yes, but PCA joined an extremely short list.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says.
See?
Vic Power, Darren Erstad, Reed Johnson, Ian Kinsler, Chris Young, and now PCA.
Darren Erstad. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Thanks, Chat.
Thanks.
All right,
Chad.
Mike, thanks for the take.
You got it.
We have more Covino and Rich. Ice Cube is going to join us. And
Let's go.
We'll hear from Patrick Renna and Danielle Fishel Topanga. They got a new show called Dugout Dads. And you'll hear that interview in its entirety on our bonus pod, but we'll do that midweek major. A lot coming up right here on Fox Sports Radio.
PCA said something ridiculous recently, and maybe he just felt the giddiness of hanging out with a hottie like Kristen Cavalieri. And she's talking to PCA, who could have been a big-time Met star, but instead is a big-time Chicago
He could have
Cubs
been
star.
right next to Juan Soto in the outfield, but that's in a different multiverse.
And
right?
she says something about, like, do you have any conspiracies you buy into? Something along those lines. You know what?
Wait, was that her or you?
I'll spare you, and you could hear the clip.
Oh.
What's an unpopular opinion that you have?
Oh, stop it, Sam.
That was close.
Your impression was so good.
Yeah, it actually was pretty spot on.
What's an unpopular opinion I have?
What's something you maybe understand or believe that someone else...
Kristen Cavalieri, I'd never make fun of her in front of her face. And she's talking to PCA,
And she's
Major
hot.
League Baseball
And she's cool.
All-Star.
What's an unpopular opinion that you have?
This is going to be crazy.
I love it.
Babe Ruth never existed is one that I like.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Really? He never.
What's his name? Salcedo? You remember him?
Salcedo, yeah, lefty.
I
Yeah.
think he did some podcast on Zoom when he was like going down the rabbit hole with somebody about how Babe Ruth never existed. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like,
Wow.
we always talk about how like the game's evolving and like people might as well have been like underhanding the ball to that guy, and he's regarded still as one of the best players ever, and you might as well dive further into it and be like, well, maybe he just never existed.
I love it.
You hear the lighthearted, silly in that conversation, and all the headlines are like, PCA doesn't believe Babe Ruth existed.
Well, you're right. You have to keep this in mind. He was asked the question, and he responded.
On a comedic podcast.
Right. So, I mean, if someone asked me that question, I'd be like, oh, I have a Bigfoot, maybe.
And if you were popular, the headline would be like, Covino, huge Bigfoot guy.
Believes in Bigfoot. It's like, wait, hold on. I was asked a stupid question. I gave a stupid answer. And that's kind of what happened. But he does deflect. Instead of just owning it, he's like, yeah, you know, like Salcedo of the Mariners said. It's like, no, you're saying it now, and everyone's running with the story. Now, if it was going to be a Babe Ruth conspiracy, it's not that he never existed. I would say there's a big conspiracy on how white he really is. There's a lot of people that say, yo, look at him. I think he's black. There's a lot of black people that take ownership of Babe Ruth, and they're like, nah, he was black,
Maybe he
man.
was
They
mixed.
just try to cover it. He was mixed. He was mixed, and they're like taking ownership of the Babe. I've seen that one surface a lot. And I don't think there's any conspiracy about...
Well, the most common Babe conspiracy was whether or not he called his shot.
Yeah, called the shot.
I never heard whether or not he existed.
Never existed. You know, is he Bigfoot? Is he thinking of like the mighty Casey? I don't know what he's thinking about.
All right, I have a question for you. Of all the conspiracies you hear people say,
yeah,
and we've had Jesse Ventura on our show when he's not living down in the Baja, talk about the Denver airport and, you know, Area 51 and all this crazy stuff.
There's a lot of strange imagery at the Denver airport.
Well, whether or not you buy into some things.
You remember that mural there with like, I don't know, it was like that terrible, horrible mural that they have and that evil Bronco in the front?
I know. I wonder, are there conspiracies that you, no matter what, are like, how dumb could one be to believe that?
Well, flat Earth is the dumbest,
well,
right?
I don't think it's the dumbest.
I think it's the dumbest of the dumb.
The dumbest of the dumb.
What's dumber than that?
There are people that believe planes didn't hit the towers on 9/11.
Oh, that planes didn't hit? What was it, CGI?
No, people think it was like the planes never hit it. It's you fell for like it was bombs and you fell for trickery and it was fake videos. Yeah, there was
the Pentagon. I might buy into that
because you never saw clear footage.
Right, you're right, and like the way the hole, like there was a hole there, and not a whole lot of debris.
There are a ton of flat earthers in the world of sports, right? We learned that.
Look, let's just preface this conversation by saying conspiracies are fun sometimes. You know, it's fun to speculate. I find them to be interesting. I'm sorry, interesting per se. But I don't believe them per se, but I do find them interesting. I find them interesting.
Good impression.
Right. If you know, you know. But is there one more dumb than Babe Ruth didn't exist?
Let me think about this. I mean, do you believe?
I've never heard that.
I think if you were to ask people, if you were to survey says Steve Harvey Family Feud style, what's a conspiracy out there? I think the number one answer is something we just celebrated the anniversary of. There are people that genuinely believe we never landed on the moon. And it was a Hollywood production because we were in a space race with Russia.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. It's Californication, dude.
Yeah.
It's made up.
I do wonder, is that the most popular one? Taking over!
No! Happy birthday, Paulie. Happy birthday, Paulie.
Have you guys seen what like China's doing with robots and like how advanced they're getting?
We're
doomed. We are doomed.
Sam, would you ever marry a robot?
Not right
Have
now.
you ever seen some of these prototypes that it's like, they look pretty good? You're such a creep.
They have this Superman robot that like runs at like 28 miles an hour, and I'm like, yeah, we're in Terminator 2 times here.
Is that real or AI, though? I don't know.
No, it was real.
Who knows?
It looks fake, but it's real.
You know what? And there's UAPs on Mars. I don't know what to believe.
Is it cheating if it's with a robot?
No, of course not.
Okay.
No, it's just the future. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick, the great Dan Patrick. Day 3 of the Dan Patrick Hattrick. And 2 things. We're on Monday through Friday. iHeartRadio app. Look out for us right here on Fox Sports Radio. We're on from 5 to 7 on the East, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West. So join us tomorrow at our regular time.
PM drive.
And yeah, that's right. And we have a bonus podcast. It's sort of a hybrid of our Patreon show and Fox Sports Radio. It's called Overpromised.
Uncensored. And this week you'll hear the full interview we had with Danielle Fishel, Topanga, and Patrick Renna, the great Hambino. They got a new show called Dugout Dads, which is all about sports parents and all the stuff we go through coaching our kids and stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Overpromised. Look it up. Enjoy it. It's right here on our YouTube page for free, right where we're streaming right now at Covino and Rich FSR.
Ice Cube going to be here in about a half hour, so hang for that as well.
All right, so again, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Everyone's searching for ways to save on insurance. Switch to Liberty Mutual, and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 Liberty. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent.
All right, now it's time for something we do every week. All the stories in the world of pop culture, music, sports that you might have missed. It's called Midweek Major.
Covino and Rich get you over the middle of the week with Midweek Major.
Ooh, I love that.
We throw sports and pop culture headlines and topics at the fellas, and it's like the kids say.
That's so mid. Week, definitely major.
CNR scoring. Midweek Major.
Yeah, it is the middle of the work week. You've made it. You hear the horns. Before we hand things over to the one and only host of this segment, Iowa Sam, we go over to the main studio, the 2 big red love dice, and they roll these to see who gets the first take.
Danny G, why are your red love dice so sticky this week?
Roll the 10,
Stickier
well
than
done.
usual?
Let's see.
They're perma-sticky.
Oh. Roll the 6, and you win. Covino goes first.
Do you know somebody snagged one of our big red love dice this past week, and we found it in the Colin Cowherd studio?
It's deeply unsettling.
Yeah, somebody was playing with one of our dice.
What are they doing with it?
All right, who gets to go first?
Covino goes first.
Covino gets first take. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most famous person besides Brian Bell of Weezer from Iowa City, Iowa, Iowa Sam.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Sam.
Hi. Tom, I'm a little out of breath from dancing. It's too early for this. It's like an early morning workout. I love it.
Go ahead.
Heart rate's up a little bit. Tom Brady, guys, wants to play all the snaps, all the minutes he can, exhibition and official, after sharing his seeming admiration for the NFL preseason over the weekend in an Instagram post. Brady shared video of a 2010 Patriots preseason touchdown pass to Randy Moss with the caption, quote, "Preseason, regular season, I never wanted to be taken off the field. Practice makes perfect. Too many people looking for easy ways out these days. When you're a football player and it's football season, your job is to play football," unquote. His comments likely directed at limited starting quarterback appearances during week 1. Midweek or major?
Major. Anything.
Major? Definitely major.
Yeah, anything Tom Brady's major, man. I heard him say some great things about Peyton Manning recently on some social media clips. Everything he says gets my attention, and I think he's smacking these candy asses into place. Yeah, I like his old school mentality, his practice mentality, and the fact that that meant something to him, because we always downplay the meaning of preseason, like, it's preseason, who cares, whatever. Dude, he was playing hard, and it meant a lot to him. I think that's cool to hear.
I I think it's major, but
Definitely major.
Again, we talk about, man, they should play in the preseason until someone gets hurt, and then it becomes, well, why are you playing them in the preseason? You can't really win or lose because whatever you do, you'll be questioned. I'm not saying Tom Brady sounds like the old. Now in the NBA, a lot of times the old heads sound like, yeah, the game used to be tougher. I get it. Tom Brady played in the preseason. He threw a dime to Randy Moss, and people were commenting like, yo, it was the third quarter of a preseason game. What is Tom doing in there? I think there's a balance.
Yeah, but the fact that means something. A guy that's so accomplished, right?
I mean, 7 Super Bowls speaks for itself, I guess, right?
The fact that means something to him says something to me. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, but you will see teams that their starters get very limited time. And, maybe weeks 1 and 2, they're a little rusty,
right.
But that's the game now, right?
And week 3 usually see more quarterback play, finally getting in there and getting some snaps.
But you've seen some starting QBs take a snap, some haven't. Like the 49ers, none of their stars have touched the field. So it depends on the team.
It does. All right, let's skip ahead to last night. As the Milwaukee Brewers tied the largest shutout in the modern baseball era
Milwaukee.
with a 22-0 destruction of the Seattle Mariners. Brewers are brewing, Seattle sinking. Big dumper, not dumping. Midweek or major.
I think this is so major
Definitely
because
major.
I'm not taking any joy in the fact that Cal Raleigh's not bringing it, but we did say there's no way he's going to match that season again. He had a magical season last year. Everything went his way, and now the guy's batting 1-something with, man, how many home runs does he have now?
He's 13 or 14, something like that, yeah.
Having a miserable season, and this just adds to it. And the Brewers are great, dude. A lopsided victory, major for the Brewers, 22-0. I just feel really bad for Cal Raleigh.
The craziest part, by the way, this is major.
Definitely major.
Because there's two big takeaways for me. The Mariners have fallen from grace. Last year, this is a team that was a playoff team. Everyone was loving Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, and this team was stacked, and everyone thought this was the beginning of a big run. And that team is, I believe, 8 games under 500 now.
Can't they still they're still in play to win their division?
It's such a trash division.
Yeah, everybody's so mediocre.
It's lackluster.
I mean, so I think if I'm a Seattle fan, I'm really bummed about how this season's going. Next to them, they might be the second biggest disappointment, other than the Mets, right? And then look at the Brewers. Best record in the National League, and get this. We talk about the long ball. They have the fewest home runs in Major League Baseball. They put up 3 big 3-run home runs last night, but the Brewers, the least home runs in baseball, showing you that you don't need the long ball as much as we think.
And pitching matters.
Situational hitting matters. Extra base hits.
People have to start taking the Brewers way serious if you don't. And the Tampa Bay Rays, just to throw them in the conversation.
Isn't it crazy? The Brewers they've never won a World Series. They've only been to one in like the early mid 80s.
By the way, in the Rays,
I think they're due to make a World Series.
So, Sam, the Rays and the Brewers, the 2 best teams in baseball right now, as far as total team home runs, ranked 21 and 30. So it just shows you the long ball's important, but again, just having all these guys batting 160
there's
and
other ways to win.
Like that, there's other ways to win. So there you go.
All right, final story here. Sticking with baseball. Also,
did you say baseball?
Baseball. Excuse me.
Baseball.
He's been hanging out with his Italian friends.
Also,
is that why you had
night,
gabagool when you came in here?
Oh, dude, I always start my morning with gabagool. I mean, that's a good breakfast.
Gabagool.
Protein. Also, last night, staying with baseball, as I mentioned, after a 2-run home run and a 7-6 win over the Rockies in Denver, Shohei Ohtani now has hit 30 or more home runs in 6 consecutive seasons. He's not going to get into the 50s for home runs this year, I don't think. But 6 years of 30-plus. Oh, and he has a nice 22-game hit streak going at Coors Field. Shohei the money. Show me Ohtani. Midweek or major.
Baseball. This is...
Baseball.
I think it's major. I think
Definitely major.
It's interesting to think that we're
That's a lot
very
of home runs.
ho-hum and we're very blasé about another 30 home run season from this guy.
That's another one. He hit 55 and 54 the last couple years.
Yeah, but still 6 years in a row, and we're like, yeah, whatever. What a mediocre. This is great. Good for him. The guy's a superstar, and I can't hate on. Nobody can hate on Shohei Ohtani. His average season is the best season ever for most people.
How many home runs do you guys think he gets to this season?
He might get to 40. So not 50, not 50 for sure. I think this is major, but
Definitely major.
I think what's major about it, Sam, is something a little different, and that is the NL MVP race is as tight as Covino's
like
skinny jeans in the 2000s.
All right, your skinny jeans.
Right now, Ohtani's batting 294. Listen how close these guys are. 294, 30, and 80. PCA, 282, 31, and 79. PCA and Ohtani have both seemed very clutch this year. The Cubs, more of a surprise than the Dodgers, so you give a little advantage to PCA that he's sort of carrying a team that wasn't expected to be this good. Shohei's on the Dodgers, but I think because of the pitching, even though he's not pitching now, will that be what brings Ohtani MVP after MVP? Just that the fact that he had that little stint of pitching that was great?
Yes, because they're too close.
They're too close, so it's like
otherwise offensively. So, yeah,
okay,
he'll always get the advantage.
But it's a big story. I love it.
And that's all she wrote.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you. Midweek Major, we do it every Wednesday. Are these stories midweek or major? You could also decide at Covino and Rich, at Fox Sports Radio on social media.
All right, now coming up, we are joined within 20 minutes by the legendary Ice Cube. Also going to hear from, like I said before, Danielle Fishel, Topanga, and the great Hambino, Patrick Renna. They are in that new show called Dugout Dad. So we got that and a bunch more coming up right here. And some NFL, for sure, right here. Fox Sports Radio, Covino and Rich, in for the great Dan Patrick.
Frank Caliendo on the Covino and Rich show, in for DP. It's always a pleasure. Thanks again for your time, Frank. We appreciate you. Now, John Madden, obviously you talked about him. Have you accepted Nick Cage as the role? Because I feel like last time we talked, you rolled your eyes a little bit about it.
No. It's more that people keep talking to me about it. I'm like, me or Nick Cage? I'm picking Nick Cage for my life story. All right. If I could have Nick Cage, hi, I'm Frank Caliendo, and I'm the guy who does a John impression. John Madden, John Gruden, doesn't matter. Boom! Use it where you will.
Dude, it is kind of tough, though, because you still see the Nick Cage. His face is so famous. We've actually interviewed Nick Cage, right? And from our perspective, imagine him sitting like right across the table from us. And like the whole time I got all these questions lined up, but I'm looking at his famous face and his throwing like there's Nick Cage right there in a white t-shirt, and his face is so famous. I think that, you still see it, even though he gained all that weight and the prosthetics and everything else. You still see his face in John Madden.
Why do you keep
really curious?
Why do you keep asking me about Carrot Top? I don't understand this line of questioning.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he's so famous. I mean, people, when you're that famous, I don't know how much of a regular life you can have. So I think I told you guys this. They called me to have a Zoom call with Nicolas Cage about that movie. And I was like, no. They're like, why not? I was like, because I want to hang out with Nicolas Cage. I want to go. If I'm going to, give him the Madden recipe, if I'm going to talk about where you put the voice in your mouth and sound like it sounds like you're eating a full lemon right there, and you're not getting rid of lemons, just not a Starburst, a full lemon, just like Will Sasso. Boom. So if I'm going to give that up, I want to hang out with him for a day. I want to walk around and, see his exotic animals. Here's my monitor lizard, Frank. What would John Madden say? That I want to go through that. I want to have the Leslie Stahl walk and talk. That's what I want to be a part of. So, but they just went on. I think he's going to sound kind of like Nicolas Cage. Boom. That guy looks like he just got hit by a freight train.
Yo, Frank, I got to ask you, one of my favorites you did, one of the last times we talked, we were having some fun with Romo, who got in some trouble lately. Oh, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. Jim. We're going to be working at the Jimmy John's just so I can say Jim. Here we go, Jim. Oh, no. I really like Romo. So I don't know. And he grew up from me, not that far. That all happened in Burlington, Wisconsin. And I grew up in Waukesha. That's like, just a little bit down the road. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad kind of ripping into people. I don't know what's happening with him, right? Is he just like, I don't know.
They're rearranging CBS's like partnerships in the booth. So I don't know. I like Romo in the booth himself. I was going to say, because you were very quick to do a great Romo. Are there some guys that maybe they just don't have anything distinct about their voice? Like, I haven't heard anyone do like a Tom Brady. Are there some people where it's like, hey, he really does nothing interesting with his voice? He's just got he's a regular guy. Are there people like that?
Yeah, there's lots. You don't see me or anybody else doing impressions of them. I think
if you assume if there's someone very popular that none of you guys in that top tier have taken on
or picked up on the nuances,
they're just sort of not giving you much.
Yeah, I mean, actors have movie roles, so you can reverse engineer it from that a little bit. But people told me you could never do an Adam Schefter, and I was like, according to my sources, at this particular time, I believe I have a way in. Or the people you think don't have. So I remember when George W. Bush was first elected president, I was at Mad TV. There's nothing to do with this guy, and like, I think there is. We'll figure something out, man. So there's stuff that comes along, and you just have to wait for the right moment, and something has to be a defining moment for the person.
This known throughout the land as Covino and Rich.
What's up, everybody?
In for Dan Patrick, the DP3, the Dan Patrick Hattrick. Always a great time. Thank you, Fox Sports Radio Nation, for letting us do this. Danny G and Sam are here. Thanks for being part of it. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. After the show, remember the podcast goes up. Our stream goes up. Danny G puts a best of out every day and a best of the week on Saturdays. Just search Covino and Rich wherever you stream your podcast and follow, rate, and review. 5 stars, because anything less is uncivilized, as the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler used to say.
That's true.
And,
That's true.
Dude, that makes me think of the fight talk we were having earlier. I thought about that, actually. Remember fire or friction? A lot of fights in the NFL.
Yeah,
Bo Nix recently.
What are you thinking?
You know what I was thinking about when we talked to the great Jim Lampley here on Fox Sports Radio. What does he always say? He always says the same thing. It's like one of his favorite talking points. The great Jim Lampley.
When he's not crying.
Boxing analyst gets
I
real emotional.
I love that he gets emotional.
He gets real emotional about boxing. I'm glad you said that, Danny G. But what is he saying? What gets him emotional? You got 2 fighters, right? And they're fighting to survive a lot of times. And their heart's on the line, and there's so much pride on the line. The ultimate competitors putting everything they have out there, and they let it all out in the ring. And what happens at the end of that fight? What does he always say?
They fall in love.
They fall in love.
He does say that.
He says that all the time, and he says it's the most beautiful thing, and he sees it all the time.
Because they have a bond.
They're forever bonded. And, hey, don't take it from me. That's Jim Lampley. He's seen plenty of fights in his life.
So you're saying the fire and passion.
I'm saying most of the time it's going to lead to, not all the time, but most of the time it'll lead to a closer bond as a result.
So
that's just part of it, and we're just rolling with that storyline because we got cameras up everybody's nose, and these are things we didn't see all the time in training camp, but we're seeing them left and right here this season.
I think you could put those in the category of, you're right, things in previous decades or generations we just didn't see, but now because, there's nothing that could happen where there's not a camera or a phone in sight, There's always been, I'm sure, scuffles at training camps and
it's like when your mom says,
and
"This world's going to hell in a handbasket," whatever that means.
Like, Mom, it's always
Mom,
been.
there's always been maniacs and wackadoodles. You're just seeing more and more of it because of the news and social media and the headlines that lead. And this is a popular headline right now.
Yeah.
Man, did you see Bo Nix? Did you see Max Crosby?
You know,
Man, the Seattle Seahawks, they've been fighting.
Well, based on what you were saying, as Lampley says, two fighters after a battle that end up falling in love in a way because they went through something so crazy together, a heavyweight or a middleweight fight, a bond.
You know someone in a different way after that.
Maybe when Max Crosby posted that funny tale of the tape of him and Kirk Cousins, maybe that was his way of saying, like, yo, that scuffle brought us closer together. And, a lot of times you hear people when they're retired, they'll tell those stories. Like, that might be the funny story Kirk Cousins tells during an interview or something.
The Browns, again, they ended practice 30 minutes early because of a scuffle and a tussle. But for all we know, they ended practice early, went back there and hugged it out. I'm not saying this is always going to be the case, but I would say most of the time it brings the team closer. And speaking of fights, this weekend, Teofimo and Rolly Romero, and in September, next month, like I already said, Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. So looking forward to that.
And speaking of those fights, Brian Schottenheimer talked about how he wasn't even that focused because there was so much fighting going on during the practice yesterday. You got it there, Sam? Let's hear it.
Have you seen enough of Downs to say we'll see you week one?
We're talking through that. Let me see this film, and I'll let you know. I mean, right now I'm just I'm in charge of Fight Club.
Fight Club.
We were asking fire or friction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of that friction leads to fire. It's like that angry sex you have sometimes, Rich.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Rich always talking about.
I feel like
stuff
sometimes when people are fired up, it brings more camaraderie.
That's what I'm getting at it.
So, well, coming up, we are going to be talking to Ice Cube, and next hour, at the end of next hour, we're going to, like I said, hear from Danielle Fishel and Patrick Renna. They got that new show. But something else I wanted to get to before Ice Cube gets here, with PCA doing what he's doing, and we were just talking about how he's so hot right now, like Hansel. So hot right now. What would he need to do in your mind? Because after Iowa Sam was talking about how Ohtani keeps bringing it, what would he have to do to outdo Ohtani? Or do you think voters, how in the past we've talked about fatigue. Remember in the NBA, what did they say? It was Jokic fatigue. Like, well, what are you gonna make him MVP again? And even
I think in the world of sports talk radio, there's always LeBron or Aaron Rodgers fatigue, right?
I mean, there's fatigue on a lot of conversations in the world of sports.
We got Mets fatigue every time we bring up the Mets.
Yeah, we have a Mets timer.
Yeah.
But I'm talking real fatigue, guys. Like, if someone brings up LeBron and Michael Jordan, you're like, oh, wow, all right.
Again, fatigue. You see me on the treadmill after the show.
Everybody uses that as a joke, but who is on the air really using that as a topic?
There are still people that do that.
I don't know.
I do wonder, though.
I'll give you fatigue.
I think it's more of a joke than reality.
If I ever see LeBron and Jordan, who's the GOAT again? That gives me fatigue.
Yeah. Question. Would it have to be offensively leading in every category? Would it have to be more like one or two more magical moments? Because we do have 1 month left of, a good month and a half left of regular season baseball. Would one guy have to pull away statistically?
Yeah, he has to pull away.
If God forbid Shohei
Shohei has to slump and PCA has to just pull away with it.
What if Shohei pulls up limp? I'm not wishing anything on anyone. It's like he misses 5 or 6 games. Like, is it really coming down to one guy just needs to slip a little bit and that's the other guy's MVP? Or do you think there's going to be people that are like, Shohei can't win it every year? Look at what PCA did. Because,
people
again,
love Shohei, man.
But then he's going to win the MVP every single year.
Yeah, as he should. He's the most valuable player.
But every single year.
If he continues on this pace. Like I said, the only way, I'm not saying PCA can't win. He has to pull away. The Cubs have to continue playing magically. They have to have these big moments, and it has to stand out. And I think the Dodgers have to slump a little bit. And, then you got that balance, and then PCA wins. That's how he does it. He has to just continue having a monster season.
I feel like this is kind of like Nikola Jokic in the NBA, and you're like,
yeah,
you could give him the MVP again for the fourth time.
And again,
give it to somebody else.
It's that fatigue they had with Jokic. It might be the fatigue they end up having with Ohtani, and I think that bears well for PCA, really. And with that, month and a half left of baseball. You think you Yankees could catch Tampa? 5 games now.
Probably not. Max Fried is on the IL again. There's some question marks there. I don't know. The moves they made, they're not necessarily panning out the way they hoped. So I think they're going to be in the playoffs. No diggity, no doubt. But, dude, even Toronto's climbing back into it. Like, I wouldn't count them out. They've caught fire recently.
Could very well be a wild card. So, will there be an under 500 team is another question for the first time in Major League Baseball history in the AL. Well, we'll find out. We're joined by Ice Cube next. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick, Fox Sports Radio.
Rich is about to talk NBA. Actually, WNBA.
Well, it's, put aside the Caitlin Clark foul, that was, taken away because what's the conspiracy? ESPN had a primetime game against the Liberty, so, why would they suspend Caitlin Clark for that? There's every headline about the WNBA.
Liberty Bibberty.
Is laden with some type of controversy. And you could argue, this is good for the league because no one ever talked about him ever before. And then the last couple of years, a lot of talk. You could say it's all drama, but isn't that how so many things get by in 2026? Dramatic headlines, controversy.
Yeah, it's been that way.
Well, over the last couple of days, I want to let this digest a second. Did you see that Enes Kanter and Royce White, 2 former NBA players,
and I'm sure more to come,
have declared themselves eligible for the WNBA draft, with there being no true verbiage in the WNBA contract, as it said, according to Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, when she's out dissing Dan Patrick and standing him up. She said, our player eligibility rules, unlike the eligibility rules of some other leagues, are governing bodies and are collectively bargained. Lastly, preserving the integrity of our game is ensuring fair competition and will always remain the highest priority. So I just think what this does is I think these guys are boneheads.
Well,
right?
They're announcing their eligibility based on the verbiage that's required by the WNBA now, saying according to your rules, we should be allowed to play, so we're ready to join the league.
Now, you might think Enes Kanter and Royce White are 2 dopes, 2 morons. I mean, publicity stunt, yes. A foolish thing to do, yes. But what they're doing, though, is they are pressing buttons and forcing the hand of the WNBA to be very clear on a question that so many people in the world of trans athletes in sports don't want to answer. Now, that's what defines a man or a woman in sports, because you can't just subjectively be like, Enes Kanter, you're a J.O., you're a piece of garbage trying to, what are you trying to accomplish? Because while that might be true, according to the way things look right now, he could very well say, well, I feel like I identify as a woman, and that's good enough according
to the rules.
The current verbiage. So what it's doing is it's really... Now,
I'll tell you what it's doing. I have it written down.
Oh, you wrote it down? Okay.
Here's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's proving a valid point, and it's protecting women, but in the worst and probably most annoying way possible.
Yeah.
Because they're just being jerks about it and they're being facetious about it.
I don't think anyone wants to see... maybe one day, because it would be funny to see, but no one really thinks Enes Kanter and Royce White, 2 dopes, should be in the WNBA. Ryan, do you think that? You would?
I would just once.
One day. That's
one game.
It would
just
be
one
like,
game.
Oh yeah,
to prove a point.
Just for it make me laugh. It'd be hilarious.
But I do wonder though. I mean, Low and Crown's like, don't come to me, don't come to me, don't come to me. Isaac, don't you think what they're doing
Wait. You have just basically confirmed that you can read my mind.
Well, he was sipping his drink for a long time.
Isaac was.
It's been empty for an hour.
I know. I can feel it. He, like when
meaning,
you know when you're nervous at a cocktail party and you keep biting on the ice you have left in your glass.
I don't get invited to cocktail parties. Meaning, the things that you have read from my mind previously, you have so much blackmail material. Oh my gosh!
But again, it's not a controversial thought to think that now the WNBA needs to somehow address this. Who's going to be happy with the statement? But Danny G, who's like, with Raiders, man, just talk Raiders.
No.
Would you?
I'm glad. Actually,
you read his mind too.
Yeah, because I thought you were going to go with the white privilege story over the week.
Oh man, like we always say, an honor, a privilege to fill in for a guy we grew up watching and listening to, the great Dan Patrick and the Danettes.
You're right.
You got Covino and Rich.
We always say that.
Fox Sports Radio.
And maybe one day we'll fill in for him in a Sandler movie or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the same, man.
Yeah, big dreaming, bro.
But think about it, right? How many times are you sitting in your bedroom as a kid watching SportsCenter? It's like, there's Dan Patrick. We should fill in for this guy. So don't think we take it for granted.
No.
At Covino and Rich, doing it live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. And we welcome you and bring some of the biggest guests to Fox Sports Radio. And right now, how about one of the most influential figures in hip-hop history? An actor, a filmmaker, entrepreneur, and now the guy behind the big three, which is getting ready to crown a new champion. Always great to have him on the show. Ice Cube.
Yeah.
What's up, Q?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, man? Great to see you. Thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it.
They made a T-shirt out of that.
Oh, you see, can I tell you something? Listen, Ice.
Yeah, clear the air, Rich. Please.
Listen, you'll never remember this because you do a million things. But Covino and I have worked together over the years at Fox Sports Radio now, ESPN, Sirius XM back in the day, and these guys bust my chops because one of my biggest flubs ever had to be over a decade ago easily. I accidentally called you Ice-T.
Yeah.
And I remember you looked me in the eyes and you said, I know who the F you're talking to. And I was like, oh.
Well, I'm here to back him up and say, absolutely knew who we were talking to. But, man, we never let him live that down. And I don't know if you want to forgive him or not. That's up to you.
Yeah, do you forgive me before we start this?
No, I don't forgive you for that. But you're not a bad guy. You know what I mean? It happens. You know, my homie's Ice. That's big bro. You know what I mean? That's the OG. So, you know, it happens. You know, you're not the first one though. But you know, you got to know us apart, man. Come on now, baby.
I know, come on. But when someone saw the shirt, they sent it to me. It is Ice Cubes in an iced tea.
Yes.
So I had to wear this today.
Hey, Ice Cube,
I've seen that meme a few times. So that's funny that they actually made a T-shirt out of it.
Yeah, when you see that, do you wonder where's your money at? Like you're not getting paid. Like what's your mindset, or are you flattered when you see stuff like that?
I used to think about like, damn, you know, I'm missing out on some cash, but then I realized, you know, they wouldn't make stuff like that if it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, obviously it's cool, and that's good enough for me that you're wearing the shirt with my face on it, and it's cool and it's funny, and Ice-T's my man, like I said. So
yeah. Well, we're here with a legend, Ice Cube, and I see a lot of cool stuff behind you in your office there. Earlier today, we were talking about how Columbia House officially shut down. And we're talking about back in the day buying cassettes and CDs and all that stuff. What's your physical music collection like? Do you still have records, cassettes, CDs? Do you still have all those physical music?
Yeah, I have cassette players, DAT players. Remember the DAT?
Of course. Yeah.
And we still got VHS around here because a lot of my history is on these things, Super 8s, all these little things that we recorded a lot of history on. And so I want to have stuff to play it on, you know what I'm saying? So people, my wife, kids, like, when are we getting rid of this? I'm like, never. We never get rid of this because you might not ever find one again. So a lot of records around here. I got I got 40 years of stuff.
Yeah, we thought our CD collection and our DVD collection, that was our bragging right. Like, you got actual bragging rights. So you got your actual hits behind you and things like that.
We were buying.
Yeah, we were proud to display your CDs. I'm surprised Ice Cube is not shocked that Columbia House was still in business. Were you one of those guys buying albums for a penny and not paying Columbia House? Like, did you use Columbia House back in the day?
Nah, it's a trip because, we would go buy our records. We was also part of record pools, so they would send us a bunch of free records. We would have so many records, some we didn't even want. So definitely didn't go to publishing clearinghouse. But fun fact, Priority Records, who signed NWA, Eazy-E, myself, before they signed us, they used to do this group called the California Raisins, and they were into all these compilations. So that was their game. They was like K-Cow or somebody, like bunch of compilations, and then they signed us, and we was definitely different than the California Raisins.
Yeah, no doubt. I would say so.
The movie, straight out of Compton. So Ice Cube is here on the Covino and Rich Show. And speaking of, your CD collection and your DVD collection, we would obviously display our Scarfaces and Boys in the Hoods and everything like that. Which one would you be proud of and bust out from back in the day? What was the one you put out there to display as far as your movies?
Oh man, Friday.
Of course.
Definitely Boys in the Hood. It's the first one. Friday because it's the one that I produced and wrote and put together, so it was kind of my first shot at, trying to get behind the scenes and not just be an actor. So extremely proud of that, and especially over the years, how big it's become, they still quoting the lines from Friday. So that's cool.
And you had to do all that prior to Chat GPT, right? So you had help, man.
Yes.
Who helped you back in the day doing that stuff?
John Singleton, Singleton, who directed Boys in the Hood, he discovered me straight up. He was like, yo, I want you in my movie. I'm not an actor. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm trying to be the best rapper in the world. And then he just was like, yo, man, I need you. And then he asked me to write. He said, when are you going to write a movie? And once again, I'm like, yo, whoa, buddy, I just start acting. And so he mentored me and helped me write. And Friday was one of those that he, was really helping me on to get it all the way on point.
Friday, an absolute classic. Boys in the Hood, rest in peace, John Singleton. And again, Ice Cube is here on the Covino and Rich Show. Music, movies, sports, that's what makes you unique, man. You've done it all. Who's the coolest to work with in your career? The musicians, the actors, the athletes? What's been your experience with all that?
I mean, I love working with Mike Epps. He one of the actors that we just have fun. We friends, so it's like, going to work with your homeboy, that's crazy. It's like I'm in a Friday movie just being with him. And so, he's great to work with. It's been great to work with Clyde Drexler on the Big Three. Just, just seeing him all the way from his Houston days, the 5 Slammer Jammer days.
Yeah.
Seeing him, give fits to the Lakers when he was at Portland and then Houston, winning the champion, and then working with him. I've been working with him now for 10 years on Big 3, and he got to be the happiest dude on earth, man. He's always laughing, always smiling, and always just a great person to be with and to work with.
And they get to work with you, which is an honor. So I'm wondering, when you got your foot in all these different circles, Ice Cube, do you ever sit there late at night and just bug out how crazy your life is with all the people and all the things you've done?
Yeah, I do. To be honest, I feel, blessed is an overused word. Double blessed, triple blessed, whatever you want to put it. I've been able to be in the right places at the right time, doing the right thing that people like. And so I don't take it for granted. I do smell the roses. I do, reflect. And I'm always looking forward to the next episode.
I like that. Hey, Ice Cube, you talk about being at the right place at the right time. What a moment when you were representing the Dodgers in the World Series against Covino's Yankees. And
dude, I was there.
I know. And that was a moment that really the whole sentiment was like, yo, LA just beat New York.
Honestly,
based on that.
I knew it was over. I knew it was over when that happened.
And Cube, the craziest part is there's a bobblehead. I don't know if everyone knows. There's a bobblehead of you in the lowrider, and you can find it online. It's expensive as hell trying to find one of those now. You have one?
He has it in his office.
I got one right here.
That
bobblehead. Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. It means a lot to you.
Oh yeah, I got it.
And to be a part of that. How cool is that?
Actually. Here goes my other one.
Got 2, mail 1 to us.
Yeah, so this is the first one, when I drop the mic is down here, you know what I'm saying? So
that's sweet. But I love that those moments mean so much to you. A guy that's done so much, do you ever get any nerves in those moments? Like, I'm at Dodger Stadium, it's a World Series, like I'm representing, like, do you still ever get nerves or no?
Not nerves, it's you worry about things not going right. Like, you're in the stadium, so it's an echo.
Yeah.
Earpiece in your ear of the real track. And you're trying to stay with the earpiece. Now, that earpiece go out, that music go out, you're going to sound crazy in there. You're not going to be on beat. You're going to be off. So, you just worry, okay, I hope they got that shit together. Excuse my French.
Oh, it's all right.
I hope they got that together. And if they don't, I gotta be ready, and being an MC from back in the day, the systems we used to have to rap on, I'm pretty prepared for, a whack system. So I just, kind of have to like get ready. So that's the things you worry about. But, I know my songs. I know, how I'm going to do it. I know the lyrics I'm going to flip. That's what I was really worried about. Am I going to piss the Yankees off and turn them up because I'm flipping these lyrics on them?
No,
I'm just going to be mad.
I'm there wearing my Yankee jersey and I'm rocking out to you, and I'm like,
felt defeated.
Yeah, I'm like, it's done. Like, you hate that moment, no matter if you're the biggest Yankees fan or not. Again, we're here with Ice Cube. It's so cool to have you here. The Big 3 championship this Saturday. We're going to talk about that. But do you consider yourself more of a music or a sports guy? Because I don't know, coming up in this industry, they always made us sort of choose who we were. And
they're synonymous to me.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? We feel like they go so hand in hand, man.
Yeah, I love them both. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Like, you gotta, like, to me, sports without music is just a game.
It's like ham with no burger.
Yeah, so we go together, you know. That's a Friday line. But together, and so you know, I've always loved them both the same, but of course I get different things out of it. But I love to see, somebody play the drums just as much as I love to see a dunk contest. You know what I'm saying?
Talent. You just like talent.
Exactly.
Speaking of sports, man, how many kids in the 90s were rocking Raiders starters jackets just because of you and your style and everything else? I'm one of those idiots, growing up in New Jersey wearing the Raiders colors. What are your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza?
Oh, yeah. Great. He looked great in his first preseason game. Poised, quick with the ball, quick decisions. But I still think he should. I still think Kirk Cousins should start. Why? When you got a vet like Kirk, you got a new regime coming in. Like, why start everything like that? I think let the kid get comfortable. Let the kid get anxious. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go, chopping at the bit. And look, I think that's the way to do it. I'm not the coaching staff. I'm just the president of the Raider Nation. You know what I mean? I'm not right all the time, just right most of the time.
That comes with a lot of power, though. I'm wondering, do you shoot Cousins a little text or a little DM then saying, yo, go get him, Kirk? Do you reach out to these dudes?
Never.
That means, why not? I mean, that would mean so much coming from you, I would imagine.
I wouldn't want them reaching out to me on things I need to do. They got enough people in their ear, in their face, who know really what's going on. I'm not in one meeting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't mess with athletes during the season about games or how they play or what they should do or none of that. After the season, I might talk a lot of madness and I'll say anything after the season, but during the season, they don't need to hear from me.
Ice Cube is here on the Covino and Rich Show, in for Dan Patrick, Fox Sports Radio. This Saturday, the Big Three Championship, Dallas Power, Boston Ball Hogs. Tell us about this, man. And dude, this is what, the 10th season now? So you got to talk about it. Yeah, how crazy is that, man? Tell us about it.
It's amazing. I just want to be a part of sports. I just want to bring more cool sports to, basketball fans. After the finals, I used to get a hangover. I'd be like, damn, man, I need more. Yeah. And so I felt like there's millions of people out there just like me. And why not professionalize something that's part of basketball anyway? 3-on-3 has always been the step cousin of 5-on-5. And we want to give it some shine, polish it up, put some real pros out there that can play this game. And it's its own sport, like you got boxing, you got UFC, you got rugby, you got football, cricket and baseball. You got 5-on-5 and you got 3-on-3, So guys have their own skill set. Just because you were good at 5-on-5, that don't mean you're going to be great in the Big Three. And so,
are there guys that you think of that you're like, oh, I know they would be good at 3-on-3, like your ultimate Big Three players that you like? I guarantee if they played, their game would translate big time to 3-on-3.
Of course, I'm looking at, a person like Westbrook. I know he just stepped away, but his game would translate. D Rose game would translate. A few people, if you could pass, dribble, shoot, and defend at a high level, you'll be all right in the Big Three. But if you're weak at any of those, you're going to have trouble. And we got our best teams going at it this week on Saturday.
And your 2026 Big Three MVP, Pargo's playing too for the Boston team. So, got some big names there. Yep. Yeah, Greg Monroe, Dallas Power. Beasley's on that team. So, yeah, dude, it's cool seeing the sport grow. And I'm wondering, obviously you got some big names involved now. What about these social media guys that go viral? Do you keep your eye on like those MK type of dudes that are doing all these crazy viral videos when it comes to his one-on-one game and things like that? Or do you always just have your eye on the former pros?
No, we're open to players who can play at this level. So it's 22 and up. We don't want to get youngsters too young playing because it's a real, it's a man game. It's called the three, not the little three. So 22 and up. We've had some guys, Drew League MVPs like Frank Nitti come in. We've had, guys who are, viral sensations like Nasir Kaur, one-on-one guys who, made their mark in the one-on-one game. I think he's like 36-0, one-on-one against some big names or pretty good names. So, and he can play our game. That's the key. Can you play Big Three basketball at a high level? And if you can, we want you. But if you can't, we don't.
Hey, speaking of basketball, too, again, Big Three championship this Saturday. Magic Johnson recently said that people shouldn't boo LeBron James in his return. I want to know your thoughts on that as an LA guy. Should he get booed coming back, or do you give him the respect? Like, if you were there, how do you handle that?
You give him his respect walking through the door. There's no reason to boo him in the layup line. But, once the ball comes in and he hits his first three on you, boo.
I agree. Yes. A little of both,
Heat of
right?
competition.
And then when he retires, and he officially retires, and then he comes back, you give him his props. But right now, he's competing against you. I'm with you on that. Now, we're going to go to our producer, Danny G. He's a big fan. He's got a music question for you. Danny G, what's up, man?
Yeah, well, first of all, congrats on the success of the Big Three. Because remember, when you first came out with it, the naysayers, this ain't going to last. How you like Cube now? Really quick, I want to ask you, because as a youngster, I was programming 50,000 watt KCAQ in the late 90s, back when West Side Connection came together. So I got to see you guys at the House of Blues in LA just tear it up. It was a crazy time for West Coast hip hop. So looking back almost 30 years later, what stands out to you about that time?
Well, of course, with the West Side Connection, what was great, we had just had a riot in LA. There was a gang truce in 92 where, Bloods and Crips decided to not fight and do those things. So putting together the West Side Connection, we had, one guy, Mac 10, he was from a Blood neighborhood, and then we had Dub C from a Crip neighborhood, which we grew up in the same neighborhood. So it was cool to be able to show the unity in music. But at the same time, there was an East Coast, West Coast beef going on. So it kind of got, it really didn't blossom like we wanted to because of the friction that was going on in hip hop anyway. So that's what I really, really remember about the time is, trying to bring the red and the blue together through the success of the West Side Connection.
It's crazy to hear those stories because I also think of Ice Cube now as, lovable dad, and you are. And I got to ask you about your son's career too. We have kids and we take so much joy in their accomplishments. You've done so much. I'm wondering how you feel about your son's accomplishments.
Oh man, I love it. He's having a ball, which is the most important thing. He's having fun with the industry. He's a second generation Hollywood. He'd been around movie sets before he knew who he was. So it's great to see him live out his dreams, doing Godzilla movies and Star Wars movies and all this stuff that he grew up on. I remember buying him all kind of Godzilla toys and now he's in the movie with the monster. You know what I'm saying? So
cool. Yeah, that's so cool. You got to bug out on that too. You're
Yeah,
sitting
I
there
do.
watching your son with Godzilla.
Yeah,
That's wild, man.
It's wild and it's fun, and as long as he's having fun with it, and as long as he keep the industry in perspective, you know, it's a job. It's not an adventure, and have fun with it.
Dude, Ice Cube, a pleasure. Thanks for your time, man. Big 3 this weekend.
Yeah.
And thanks for sort of forgiving me for accidentally calling you T back in the
Yeah,
day.
I got you, man. I forget you now, man. You forget.
Water under the. You're
I feel so much better now.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, a true pleasure, a legend, Hall of Famer, music, sports. He does everything.
Yeah,
You gotta love
I'm
him.
very pumped for the Big 3 this weekend. Thank you again. Hey, you're welcome to come in the studio next time.
Hey.
Hope to see you again.
Continued success, Cube.
All right.
Every time. Take it easy, y'all.
Thank you, man.
Later, man.
Ice Cube on the Covino and Rich show. Again, the Big 3 this weekend. The Dallas Power and Boston Ball Hogs, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check that out and enjoy.
All right, we got more Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick next right here on Fox Sports Radio. Now, on September 2nd, which is, by the way, quicker than you think, that's coming around, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans.
DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours.
Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history.
New DraftKings customers sign up with code Patrick and get ready for DraftKings Game Day. That's code Patrick in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Terms at dkng.co/audio. Nationwide.
Yeah, first of all, do you look at it as like, look at the huevos on this kid that wants Jaden Daniels' number? Or do you look at it as, Jaden Daniels, you played 26 games. Yes, you won a Heisman 2 years ago, 2024, big star.
Well, we can't downplay the Heisman. I mean, that's pretty dope.
2023.
Yeah.
But do you look at that and say, 26 games, Heisman, you get your jersey, like, put aside, retired, no one else gets it?
Well, let's not downplay, like, there is no higher honor. He won the Heisman Trophy.
A national championship.
I mean, yeah, but still, that's a personal accolade. A championship would have been better, of course. So, yeah, that's points against him. Is it petty? I agree. It is very petty to complain about this and put a cease and desist on his name, image, and likeness moving forward.
That's the petty part.
That is the petty part.
That's what started with Schefter this morning. An attorney representing Jaden Daniels informed LSU can no longer use his name, image, and likeness, and said he felt profoundly disrespected after LSU allowed cornerback DJ Pickett to wear his former number 5 jersey.
DJ Pickett claiming, hey, man, if it's available, what am I doing wrong? So that's a question in itself. Do you blame DJ Pickett and say the huevos on this guy to go with Jaden Daniels' number? Do you blame the school for making it available?
Wait a minute. The school told Pickett, yo, it's your number. You could have it. So what is he going to say? Well, no, I'm not going to take it.
Out of respect, yeah, you can't blame him.
He said he wore it since he was a little kid. That number 5, man, coveted.
Yeah, like Jaden Daniels doesn't own it. That's his mindset. But this is a big story today. Now, I'm going to take a different angle, although I agree with Rich.
Well,
we don't know the level of disrespect that led to this. This could be maybe some sort of straw that broke Daniels back here because, I know what it feels like to be disrespected by your college, and this is on a much, much, much higher level. Rich, you know better than I do what it feels like to be disrespected by your college or not acknowledged. This is a guy that maybe feels he deserves a little more respect than that, and maybe this is just another moment of numerous things that we're not aware of right now.
How many years? Here's what made me make my quick decision. In fact, I like to study these things, but I also sometimes like to make a quick decision and be like, that's my instinct. And my instinct is college and the pros are so different with this stuff. How long did Derek Jeter, number 2, play for the Yankees?
20 years, right?
Guy. So we're talking about a guy that won 5 World Series, 20 years, legend.
Rookie of the Year, 1996, champion, superstar Yankee.
How long?
Most hits for a New York Yankee. He made his mark.
How long did, Tom Brady play for the Patriots? TB12? I'm just saying.
Felt like 37 years.
Danny G, I look at college like a revolving door of young talent, right? Like, think about it. You're in and out of there in 4 years. As a student, you go there, whatever bar you thought was popular is now the lame bar.
Well, a lot less than 4 with the transfer portal.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
You make a great point. I get it. You're there, and in the snap of a finger, your career's over, right? New players come in. Even our college days seem like a blink of an eye. Like weird moments, weird friendships. It went real fast. Doesn't make it less special, but from his perspective, I'm just challenging. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm challenging everybody to realize that a lot of his contemporaries, their numbers are retired. So he's thinking on that level. Caleb Williams' numbers retired. I was going through a list. There's some play it's not unheard of. Is my point. You're saying, yeah, dude, you can't compare college sports to professional sports. I agree with you.
You're saying You're saying guys that he would call his equals in the NFL. Their colleges respected them.
Your boy Steve Young's numbers retired.
But remember,
Steve
Covino,
Young, dude. It's Steve freaking Young,
Charlie
dude.
Ward. I'm just going through the list.
But this is a team-by-team basis.
You're making it seem like it's unheard of. It's very heard of.
Covino, just like organizations in all pro sports, some teams have all kinds of jersey numbers retired, and others don't really do that. They're like, yeah, you have to be a legend to get your number retired.
I'm thinking for him to make this big of a stink, like the stink of what? 1857?
Do you know this? Do you know about the stink?
The great stink of 1858? For him to make a stink like this has to be an accumulation of things, not just this. That's my guess. That's my thinking. This is like, and they're giving my number away? Screw it. I don't want anything to deal with it. I do find it to be a disrespect, though. There's other cases that I find to be more absurd. I don't think this is worth Jaden Daniels' time. I do agree it seems a little strange for him to complain and make this big of a deal about it. But there's other moments where I do notice this. What's the slight? What's the backstory? There's usually more than meets the eye here. Like, can I give you some other examples? And we'll take phone calls, too, at 877-99 on Fox. I agree with Rich. Ice Cube again for stopping by. That was awesome. And thank you, Danny G, for making that happen.
Ain't a hit till Nate Dogg spit.
Nate Dogg's the man. Ice Cube, legend. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. Iowa Sam is here. Thank you guys for being here. The hottest rookies, biggest superstars, all-time greats. The only place to collect them all is Panini Trading Cards, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show.
For instant classics, autograph cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more. Start or continue that collection now at PaniniAmerica.net.
So, yeah, if you missed any of our interviews, catch the podcast. Frank Caliendo yesterday.
I knew it.
Hall of Famer Drew Brees, Ice Cube.
You just shouted out the late, great Nate Dogg, right, Danny J?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Would you believe today is his birthday? Would have been his birthday.
Damn.
I knew it because I was
like,
why?
we missed so many radio hits over the years from him. With every artist under the sun.
Covino and I, back in the day, we'd always say, like, I don't think there's someone that made a song better when they were on it than Nate Dogg. Like, he was one of the, if he was on a random track, he just made a song better.
So good.
So
good.
Yeah, today would have been his birthday. So
wow.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Nate Dogg.
And thanks again for rocking with us. Now, speaking of Ice Cube being here, we actually are going to have Patrick Renna, the great Hambino.
I mean, who doesn't love the Sandlot?
And Danielle Fishel. We keep it official like Danielle Fishel on Fox Sports Radio. Topanga, they're going to be on our bonus podcast, Overpromised, because we never have time on our show, Covino and Rich, 5 to 7 on the East, Fox Sports Radio, 2 to 4 on the West. Overpromised is available on our YouTube page where we're streaming live right now at Covino and Rich FSR. But we're going to play you a little clip from that in a few minutes and get into something interesting that Patrick Renna said.
Do you think Topanga was a lot of guys' first crush?
It's generational. It's a generational thing, right? It could have been Alyssa Milano. It could have been Winnie Cooper.
Could have been Kelly Kapowski.
Kelly Kapowski, but yeah, Topanga for a certain generation, absolutely. So she'll be on our bonus pod tomorrow, but you'll hear from her in a few minutes. But before we get to that, Rich, we were talking about PCA before and what he needs to do to be MVP this year. He really needs to pull away from Shohei. It's not impossible, though, right?
Got 6 weeks to really make a mark. And again,
But 3 home runs in the past 2 days, right, Danny G?
It's so confusing because, like you said, when we do the Dan Patrick show, which, like we said before, a huge honor, it messes up our schedule. So it's like where you're usually up maybe watching highlights or up, scrolling late at night. You got to get to sleep, but then you wake up, you're like, wait, was that yesterday or the day before?
I was telling everybody yesterday that it was Wednesday, and people were looking at me crazy.
It really does throw off our schedule in a good way because the day's we have so much day left after this. So
it's a lot of day, but you're tired, though.
Yeah, you're so tired. Then you take a nap and wake up and you forget when you saw what.
What
day is it?
Yeah, it's 2 days in one. So his opening home run and walk-off, so his leadoff homer and walk-off homer.
That was 2 days ago.
That was Monday night. Last night he hits a home run. So he has 3 homers in the past 2 days.
Wait, and you keep seeing him being interviewed. You keep seeing the highlights of him teeing
what
off
day
and
is
then being
today?
interviewed.
I know, right?
Today is Hump
Wednesday.
Day, Wednesday. So, with PCA on the mind and he's tearing it up right now, dude's on fire. We posed this question. Who's as hot as PCA? Hot like Hansel.
Great Zoolander reference.
Who's as hot as Hansel?
So hot right now.
Who's so hot right now like PCA? And one guy comes to mind. Like, it could be in the world of sports and entertainment. Doesn't matter, right? Like, whatever they do right now is just slaying. I mean, Tom Holland has to be on that list,
I was going to say,
right?
you can say the couple because Zendaya's in both those movies, too. So between The Odyssey and Spider-Man, is anyone hotter than Tom Holland and Zendaya right now?
No.
So hot right now.
So hot right
so
now.
hot right now.
So we'll take your phone calls at 877-99 on Fox. It's just our way of giving props because, it's their moment. You don't know if they know, but Tom Holland has to know. PCA's probably thinking, no, you ain't even seen the best of me yet. Tom Holland has to know this is his moment right now.
Like essentially, who's the opposite of Edwin Diaz?
Right.
Who, by the way, he's on the IL, so, I'm wishing him well. No one wants to see a player get hurt, but maybe, Danny, for your Dodgers' sake, you sort of got to hope that.
Let's talk about Tatis robbing you of a game yesterday.
No. Let's not talk about Tatis robbing the Mets of a Grand Slam home run. Let's talk about Edwin Diaz. No, but perhaps the poor play and the blown saves were because he is not 100%. Because even though he left my Mets, he is a great player. Wishing him the best, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about hot players right now.
Tom Holland. Is there a hot young woman, perhaps, or old woman? I don't know. However, your algorithm
hot
works.
old woman.
Yeah, hot. I mean, but the Madison Beers, the Justin Herberts of the world that keep coming up in your algorithm, right? Who are they?
You just named 2 of them. I think Madison Beer and Justin Herbert are definitely. I think they're going to get a lot of attention this year. I think
people are starting to recognize and realize. All right, here's what happens. Justin Herbert, even on our show, we start criticizing him. Like, yeah, we get it. You're in love. And we're happy for you. But you got to know that people are going to speculate on your fiance on the field fixing your hair. And then people realize how hot she is. And then they're like, all right.
I don't blame him.
You know what? Who's really going to stop her? And I think people have now recognized how hot she is. And bam, I think your opinions change on that. And you realize, man, she's pretty hot right now.
I was glad to see that Drew Brees backed me up yesterday. Because my thought is, when an NFL player...
It's just bad optics.
Yeah,
no one's saying, like, it's wrong.
No. Drew Brees backed me up because my thought was, I'd rather my star quarterback, if I'm a Chargers fan, I'd rather my star quarterback be madly in love with his, like, hot fiance than be a player that got rando girls in every city and he's distracted scrolling and swiping and DMing. Like, that to me is a distraction. I think being in love and happy, I think that makes you more focused. Like, he's got something to play for. So... They're both very hot right now. And I think the Chargers, I guarantee this is the year. You could Danny's going to hate this being a Raiders fan.
Yeah, but I hear this on the radio and TV every single offseason.
I know, but I think this year, I feel like Harbaugh.
I heard this last year.
Did you see Jim Harbaugh say that he thinks Justin Herbert's like the best quarterback like ever? That's not a misquote. Like he's like, I've never seen someone with his skill set. Like Jim Harbaugh is so high on his quarterback.
Or maybe so high. We don't know.
I wouldn't be shocked if there's a lot of national attention on the Chargers. If they start out good and Herbert with Mike McDaniel as his offensive coordinator, they could really be a team that's sort of – because the Chargers always sort of go under the radar because their fan base isn't that strong since they moved to L.A. They're always like –
it's been getting stronger.
Back in the day, remember they were always like – they were like almost they were the Mr. Almost, right? Like they would make it.
No, they always have been. They've been like the paper champion. On paper, they should win and they should go deep into the playoffs.
I mean, think of Phillip Rivers and all those years where it was like they're so great, but they can't get over the hump, and their fan base, like you said, it's not the fan base of like the Raiders or the Chiefs.
No,
I think this year
it's taken time for them to take over their home games in SoFi.
I think there's a chance that team, with the personalities of Harbaugh and McDaniel together, Herbert, Madison Beer being there's probably Travis and Taylor fatigue, and we always look for some couple or something.
They're so hot right now, like Hansel.
So I think that's going to be a storyline.
Hey, I got one for you. Is there a drink that's so hot right now? Is there a food is the crispy caramelized Brussels sprouts with the balsamic glaze still like the hottest item? You know what I mean? Like, you know how every food has their run?
No, Brussels sprouts had its run, I think.
Yeah, I know. So is there something else that's so hot right now?
On TikTok, there's these gummy worms that have a lot of fiber in them.
So hot right now.
And people have been taking them, trying to help themselves.
They're so hot right now.
Yeah. So yeah,
also
what's
these
that next one?
These ice cream filled cookie dough balls that's all over TikTok from Trader Joe's.
So hot right now.
My wife eats like 3 bags at once.
Did you see the new trend? My daughter's like, Dad, can we do it? Where you make watermelon ice cream. Have you seen this?
No, but it sounds hot right now.
You sort of pulse it. You scoop some out of a watermelon, right? And you make like a little pool. You freeze the watermelon, then you pour some heavy cream, and you mix it with the frozen watermelon, and everyone's
that's
like,
a hot trend.
No, that's a hot trend. So,
but it becomes the it drink, the it entree, the it like vegetable. I don't know. Like sometimes things go in cycles like that. It's weird.
You know what's hot right now? You go to a restaurant, people are so sort of not done with drinking, but people don't drink as much as they used to. That you're seeing more mocktails.
Yeah, they're hot.
And I
right
can't
now.
imagine. I can't imagine going to a steakhouse and buying a
Excuse me,
$20 drink without alcohol.
Do you
in
have
it.
a
I'll just get a
menu?
Pepsi. That'll be 99 cents.
Yeah, no, mocktails are so hot. You're right, Rich.
Yeah.
I hate to say this. We mentioned it before. Of course, the Tampa Bay Rays are legit, along with the Brewers. Like, we got to recognize that. Tampa Bay Rays 75-50, and the Yankees are 5 games back as we speak. But you know how Boston went on that hot streak?
Yeah.
Forget about them, dude. The Blue Jays are so hot right now. They went from are they going to be sellers at the trade deadline to turning it around completely where they're 7-3 in their last 10, but they're playing hot. Alejandro Kirk is back. Dude's so hot right now, and that's what they were missing. That dude's leadership, that dude's bat. And I, as a Yankees fan, hate watching that meatball. Hate watching that dude because he destroys them every time, that Vato Loco.
Let it be known that
But they're hot.
As of right now in the AL, I'll wrap this up, and we will hear from, like I said, Daniel Fishel and Patrick Renna next. The Rangers are your third wild card at 62-64. As of now, a team 2 games under 500 would be the third wild card, which means keep rolling down the standings. Teams like the Tigers that are 61-65, and the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Guardians, they're all 1 game out of the wild card, and they're 4 games under 500. So anyone's in it. Your Blue Jays that you just said, they're a half a game out of the wild card.
They're catching fire at the perfect time, and that's scary to say, and I hate it.
Make the postseason, you never know what could happen.
One last observation. Look, young people set the trends, right? And my daughter's in high school, and school already started here on the West Coast.
Lame.
I will tell you this. It's so hot, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah. When you see it and recognize it, you're going to understand. Kids are rocking little kid backpacks now. and they're called senior backpacks. So the seniors represent by wearing like little kid backpacks, and you're going to see it everywhere in the school year. So hot right now.
All right, well, listen, we got more Covino and Rich wrapping up the Dan Patrick Hattrick next on Fox Sports Radio.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And we start today with, I would say, quarterback drama, but not really. QB1 has been announced.
The drama's over.
In Minnesota.
Congratulations to Kyler Murray. He did it, starting over J.J. McCarthy. He signed that, what was it, a one-year deal?
$1.13 million. But
1 year,
the
$1.3
Cardinals
million deal.
are still paying him $35 million. So, I mean, he's doing okay. So, Cardinals on the hook for the money. Gets the starting job in Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy, 2 years removed now from being the number 10 overall pick in the NFL draft. Going to start the season as a backup. And as Kevin O'Connell said, what are you opening over there? New
disinfecting the. You could have focused and rolled with it. I didn't know you had the attention span of a goldfish where you couldn't concentrate. You didn't have to acknowledge it. Not everyone can hear.
To me, it was like, when someone's chewing on carrots and it sounds like lug nuts? I felt like the quieter you were trying to be was like,
it's like Huey Herman with the balloon. Like, it was a little loud, I know. Sorry.
Anyway,
Kevin O'Connell said that he showed enough of his command of the offense to merit the nod. He showed, by the way.
That was quick.
Showed enough?
Show enough.
Who's the master?
Show enough.
No, he said that he showed enough, which to me that's like, when I'm looking for a real sweet response from my girlfriend, like, hey, that dinner was great, right? What'd you think? She says, it was fine. Like, that's a weak ass response. Like, showed enough? Might as well be like, yeah, he was good enough, fine. That's not really that great to me. To me, he's a banana peel away from sitting the bench himself. That's how I get it. I think J.J. McCarthy's like right there.
Well, we knew he got off to a really good start because if you flash back to the first day Vikings had fans in attendance at their OTAs, Kyler Murray threw that sweet long pass, and I think it was a couple hundred fans there in attendance, but they were going nuts. And everyone in the comments were like, yo, chill, it's practice. But right from the jump, the Vikings fans seemed excited to have Murray in the back.
Dude, he's an exciting player, no diggity, no doubt, but showed enough. And that is the quote, by the way, showed enough. And I know I'm really dissecting this and overthinking it, but like, if people asked you, Danny G, how'd you get the job? Or Covino and Rich, how the hell did they get that job? Yeah, they showed enough. No, you want to hear like you earned it, you did a great job. Yo, man, you really turned some heads. You're the guy. Like, showed enough is like, sounds like you barely did enough to get that job.
Kevin O'Connell's thinking, listen to this guy dissect my words.
I don't like that. If someone said, well, they showed enough to get it. Like, no, I want people to think I'm the best, and that's why I got it.
You got to pull the Kramer. You know how these pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels all making me thirsty. You're just putting the emphasis on like the wrong part of the sentence. Or you're delivering it like they showed enough.
He showed
How
enough.
about saying it positive? Like
He had
yo,
command
man,
of the
he showed
offense.
enough. I look at it. He's new to the system. He showed enough already to get the nod from me, man. I look at it like a positive. Like yo, he showed enough already. He's been there like weeks.
I look at it the exact opposite.
Okay.
And again, that's not to take away from the earning spot. I feel like if you got the job, though, it should be handled and announced with a sense of, yeah, he's great. He earned it. Congratulations, kind of thing. Not like, we barely chose him.
Yo, this guy has been here for a blink of an eye, and guess what, Covino? He's already showed enough.
Enough to me sounds like when my girlfriend says fine. Like, fine? What do you mean fine?
All right.
You mean it was great or fine?
Pop quiz.
How
for you.
that
and
movie,
by the way-
what'd you think of that movie? That was sick, right? It was fine.
I mean,
fine.
The only time I wouldn't like that is if your girlfriend was giving you confirmation in different areas. Like,
no,
it was fine.
I'm just saying, like, it sounds unenthusiastic, and that's my interpretation.
It was
That's-
okay.
I'm
It's okay.
overthinking it, Rich, but that is, as a guy that looks for validation sometimes, especially when it comes to
Your captain validation. You love pats on the back.
when it comes to things I take serious, like my profession, my job, my career. Like, I want to know that they think I'm the best for the job, not like I did okay, I did enough. That's how I feel about that.
Doesn't our show intro say, they're good enough?
Yeah, that's a diss. That's my
Covino
point.
hates it.
That's my
It's Columbia House.
So worth it. I can't believe Columbia House was even around. 71 years. We talked about it first hour. We talked about it with Ice Cube. If you missed anything, catch the show. Watch the show at Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube, streaming live. Again, it's been a fun week. Thank you for being here. Big project coming up. ChatGPT has a new agent for larger projects. ChatGPT Work. Give it a goal and help turn scattered materials into finished work.
Yeah, get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans. Thank you, ChatGPT. All right, now we're going to give you this interview in its entirety on our bonus podcast, Overpromised. And there's a new show called Dugout Dads.
Yeah.
It's going to be on YouTube and probably a provider be soon enough, right? Like
This is the one I keep seeing. This is with Patrick Renna, the great Hambino from Sandlot. And he got all of his Sandlot friends on the show.
And Danielle Fishel, Topanga from Boy Meets World, plays his wife on the show. So we caught up with them. We talked about coaching kids and sports and the Sandlot, and we reminisced a lot. Again, that whole interview you'll be able to hear, but we discovered something when we talked to them.
Well, yeah, again, so watch the show tomorrow. It's called Overpromised, episode 152 on our YouTube page at Covino and Rich FSR. Rich filled them in on Travis Kelce and Taylor's new dog. Take a listen.
Did you see, Patrick, that Travis and Taylor named their dog Wendy, and the rumor is that because he was a huge fan of Wendy Peppercorn from Sandlot?
I know they are, and that I need to get on their podcast and talk to him. I think his brother is a big one too, Jason.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that they named the was it the dog?
Their little dog. Apparently people we figured out the name. It's Wendy, and it's because Travis and his brother love the Sandlot.
How cool is that?
Well, hopefully Taylor can too, and she can tell her army to go watch Dugout Dads on the 26th. I would love some Tay-Tay followers to come on into the dugout.
They're Swifties.
So,
excuse me, Swifties.
There you go, yes.
It brings up the question, awesome, normal, lame, how do you feel about naming your pet after your favorite sports player, team, any celebrity of sorts?
Like
if you name your dog like Jeets.
Jeets. That's my dog, Jeets. Well, dude, I got friends that they name their kids after those people, right? I mean, my buddy Barnando.
His son's middle name is Jeter, right?
Yeah, his son's middle name is Jeter.
That's a lot. No offense.
Right? So, if you're going to name your dog
but then
after
again,
your favorite player.
But then again, my brother's name is Jim because my mom liked Jim Plunkett.
Isn't there a rumor that Jim Plunkett's his real dad?
Jim?
So wait, again, hold on. Travis and Taylor named their dog Wendy after Wendy Peppercorn from the Sandlot.
Yeah, she was hot.
Not after the spicy chicken sandwich. That was what I thought.
But I have friends that have a dog named Wrigley, big Cubs fans. You know how many people
I think that's cool. Yeah, I think it's appropriate because what I find weaker than that is when you give your dog like a real human name.
I've never been a fan of that. I agree. When it's like,
this is my dog Gregory.
Yeah, that's weak to me.
I think that's kind of funny.
I mean, my dog's name is Theo, so I can't complain. But it sounds a little like it sounds playful. It's not like his name is. That's Fred, my dog.
Doug, my dog Doug.
Yeah, exactly. And truthfully, I was going to take a similar route, and I clearly lost the battle. I'll explain. I got my dog. Why didn't you adopt? Because I needed a hypoallergenic dog. That's why.
And by the way, and mind your business.
Yeah. and if I could have, I would have, right? But I got my dog in Bakersfield, California, right? So when I went to pick him up, little Theo, I was like, Bakersfield, that's where the band Korn is from. I was like, let's name him Fieldy after the bass player from Korn. And clearly I lost that battle because my girlfriend was like, no, let's name him Theo after nothing. Theo Von Theo.
I thought you were going to name him Jorge after Jorge Posada. Jorge!
So, yeah, but along those same lines, like someone on your favorite team, I was thinking someone from one of my favorite bands, and it sounded like a dog, like Fieldy. Hey, that's a cool dog name. Why not? I got no problem
people
with
in L.A. probably have a dog or an animal named Mookie or Freddie.
No, I had a pit bull. I named him Tretch, naughty by nature.
Yeah, see? So I like it. I think it's better than like a human name.
I'm with you on that. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Dan Patrick. Thank you, Danettes. And we'll see you guys back at our regular time in the afternoon tomorrow. Until then, have a great Wednesday. Until next time, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Thank you, Danettes.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Later, dog.
Bye, Felicia.